Chapter 911, not crazy. Chapter 911, not crazy principle of 18 matrial halls, 18 bosses. 1 month ago, they were not the shiny boss in College of War Martial Arts, but this time, they had mutated. The mutation was too sudden. If Long Fei had not angered Su Qianhe, this boss of his would not have been mutated just now. Right now, his name was red, and his body was glowing with a golden light. Long Fei was excited when he saw this and thought to himself, if I get enraged, I will mutate, and 18 matrial halls' headmasters will all be bosses. Damn, this time they are going to attack at the right time. The drop rate of a mutated boss should be quite high, right? Long Fei was not afraid of Su Qianhe's mutation. On the other hand, he was very excited. In the game, the most exciting thing to do was to kill bosses, kill holy artifact, and suddenly appear as 18 bosses. Adding Panzhan, who had the Pangu axe, there were a total of 19 bosses. Long Fei looked at the furious Su Qianhe and purposely laughed at him. Yo, you're going to get angry just by being provoked. It looks so scary. Su Qianhe's eyes flashed with killing intent. He pointed at Long Fei and shouted, Kid, are you afraid now? If you are afraid, kneel down and kowtow 100 times. With the name Red on top of Su Qianhe's head, a boss in this state could attack him at any time. However, what is someone with alchemy afraid of him for? Su Qianhe was the #1 Grandmaster of Pills in the God Emperor Academy, and his alchemy technique had already reached the highest level of the 9th stage of the immortal stage. The high level of alchemy technique did not mean that his martial arts training was also powerful. Among all the directors of College of Martial Arts Training, his level of martial arts training was the lowest. How could Long Fei be afraid of such a person? Afraid? Long Fei fixed his hair for a bit and then sneered. I, Long Fei, have never been afraid in my entire life. I just think that you're very obedient. I told you to come down as soon as you're down, like an old dog. Very arrogant. Su Qianhe took a step forward with incomparable rage and shouted, Long Fei, I must kill you today. The aura on his body was extremely oppressive. Su Qianhe's cultivation was not very high, but he was still in the blood immortal realm, and what he was good at was fighting-type pills. Right now, his anger was hard to be quelled, and he wished that he could tear Long Fei into pieces. Long Fei's mouth rose and said, Since you want to kill me, then let's play it big. Aren't you the #1 alchemist? Do you dare to gamble with your life? They were trying to force Su Qianhe into a corner, so as to not give him any opportunity to catch his breath. As for refining medicinal pellets, for ordinary disciples and elders, they were not Long Fei's match. But if one were to talk about Su Qianhe, Long Fei really did not think that he was absolutely able to beat me. That's why Long Fei wanted to force him even more. At the same time, Long Fei had also forced himself into a corner. What's boss doing? Doesn't he know that Su Qianhe is God Emperor Academy's #1 alchemist? To challenge Su Qianhe and even gamble with his life, aren't we just going to throw our lives away? Senior brother, what's wrong with him? Su Qianhe is a master of alchemy. Senior brother is no match for him. Linglong said worriedly. She was very clear that Long Fei's alchemy technique was very powerful, but no matter how powerful it was impossible for it to be a match for Su Qianhe. Song Qianqian muttered, He's forcing himself into a corner. Huh. Xiaoying cried out in alarm and said, Sister Qian, why did young Master Long push herself to death? She didn't understand. Many people did not understand. Song Qianqian had experienced 2 adventures in the Transu continent, and she was very clear about Long Fei's personality. Every time, she would force herself into a dead end. Because only in desperate times could a person break his or her limits. With just the alchemy technique, Long Fei knew that he would definitely not be Su Tianhe's match. Only by forcing him into a dead end and exploding his innate talent and potential would Long Fei be able to win. If he wasn't crazy, then he couldn't be a demon. Long Fei was just like that. Everyone around the martial arts practice grounds started to discuss with one another. Isn't this too arrogant? This guy is overestimating himself. He actually dared to challenge the first alchemy grandmaster and still wants to gamble his life. If you want to scare people, you should at least see who your target is. Su Tianhe, God Emperor Academy's #1 alchemist. I thought I had some brains, but I didn't expect me to be this stupid and gamble my life. Just wait for your death. Ouyang Zhan and the few other chairmen who were originally trying their best to dissuade them had also stopped at this time. None of them thought that Long Fei would actually dare to take such a big gamble. A life wager. He was courting death. If that was the case, why stop him? Ouyang Zhan laughed coldly, looked at Long Fei, and said with contempt, Long Fei, oh Long Fei, if I want to know what you're so intelligent for, why would I waste so much effort on? With Su Tianhe? Isn't this reporting to Yama myself? Ha ha ha. Ouyang Zhan and the few headmasters all started to laugh out loud. Ouyang Zhan deliberately pretended to be the headmaster and said, Long Fei, you're betting your life on this. Huh? Long Fei glanced at him, glanced at Ouyang Zhan, and said, What? Is Principal Ouyang afraid? Can't afford to lose. You can't afford to lose, so go home. Ouyang Zhan sneered and said, I'm really afraid that I won't be able to afford it. I'm afraid that you won't be able to afford it. And then Su Tianhe's gaze tightened as he coldly shouted, There is a path to heaven that you refuse to take. There is no door to hell, yet you barged in. Long Fei, your life is mine now. Go ahead. What kind of bet? Su Tianhe agreed. Right now, he couldn't wait to kill Long Fei. Long Fei said, It's simple, we can refine as we wish. Whoever has the higher level of pills, the better quality pills, whoever wins. The key point is, willing to admit defeat, you, Su Tianhe, won't be unable to afford to lose, right? That's fate. If we lose, there's nothing left. Long Fei continued to reveal a look of despise. Su Tianhe sneered, Don't worry. With over 100,000 people here as witnesses, you won't be able to escape. I'll personally send you off. At this moment, Pan Zhan suddenly stood up and said, Principal Su, my Pan family will provide you with 9 pure and single attribute holy herb. I wish you can refine them into 9 dragon pill. As soon as he finished, immediately, 2 disciples from Pan family took out 9 stalks of immortal grass. The power of celestial was dense, and it emitted a faint glow. Long Fei stared straight ahead. These 9 holy herb were like light, emitting weapons. They were definitely good stuff. Every single one of them was at least 100 times more expensive. The most important point was that these holy herb had a single attribute. One would be considered a fire attribute, while the other was a fire attribute. This immortal herb was known as the supreme grade. With these top-grade immortal herbs, Su Tianhe had already won. Even those weaker than Long Fei could easily defeat him, let alone Su Tianhe. He would definitely lose. Life must die. Chapter 9:12. I make them worship me like gods. Chapter 9:12. I make them worship me like gods. Holy herb. Pan family was worthy of being called a Pan family. He used holy herbs as soon as he attacked, and even created 9 of them. Even a level 1 alchemy technique could refine a holy ply, let alone a level 9 immortal rank Su Tianhe. How could Long Fei be a match for him? Pan family's move had directly put Long Fei to death. Pan Zhan looked at Long Fei, who was on the stage, disdainfully sneered, and said, Today, I'll let you have a taste of what it means to crush someone. Ha ha! Dao Ba shouted angrily. Isn't this too shameless? What is the holy herb refining? Even direct devouring can have the same effect as holy ply. Do you still need to compare? He Shan asked, do we not have holy herb? Fu Shishan's face sank, and his heart was in great pain. She could not take out the holy herb to help Long Fei. If she could not help Long Fei, she felt very uncomfortable in her heart, in terms of financial and material resources. In any aspect, the Fengyuan Business Alliance was not a match for the Pan family, let alone 9 holy herb. She would not even be able to take one out. Fu Shishan lowered his head, feeling upset. Furthermore, if the 9 holy herb were to be refined together, then Su Tianhe would be able to refine a 9-dragon pill. This is the strongest inheritance in the God Emperor Academy, and it can only be obtained using holy herb S. Song Qianqian's heart sank. It's a pity that this place is not dark domain. Otherwise, Man Tualuo muttered to himself, even the entire drug race would not be able to produce that many holy herb. The Pan family is simply too powerful. What should we do? Pan family wants Long Fei to die. Sister Qian, think of a way. Xiaoying said anxiously. This was no ordinary competition. This was a life wager. If Long Fei lost, Ouyang Zhan and the others would definitely not let him leave this place alive. They would definitely kill him. If he won, is that possible? Su Tianhe had already reached the pinnacle of the alchemy realm, adding the 9 holy herb, even in the entire God's martial continent. No one would be a match for him, let alone Long Fei. It was impossible to win. Song Qianqian shook his head gently. There's no other way. I can't think of anything. Suddenly, Linglong rushed out and said, Principal Su, didn't you want me to return to the Elixir Martial Arts branch? As long as you allow Senior Brother Long Fei to withdraw from the competition, I will agree to your request. I promise you anything. It was the only way she could think of. Stupid way. Su Tianhe sneered in disdain and said, You agree now? Too late. Today I must let him die. If it was the beginning, perhaps there would be room for discussion. After all, he was the successor of the vein of ancient Rosefinch, but now that the Pan family had already taken out the holy herb, he had no way out. He had to trample Long Fei to death. Moreover, his anger from being angered by Long Fei did not decrease in the slightest. He wanted to stomp Long Fei to death. Linglong looked at Lu Changkong again and said, Principal Lu, I am the successor of the Rosefinch blood vessel. I can enter the Vermilion Bird Academy. I beg of you. She knew what alchemy were and what holy herb were. She also knew that Long Fei would definitely lose. She did not want to see Long Fei die. Lu Changkong laughed in disdain. Didn't you choose Long Fei just now? Begging me now? Do you really take yourself seriously? Don't worry. Your Rosefinch blood vessel will enter the Vermilion Bird Temple, but you can't enter the Rosefinch Martial Art College. As for that kid, he's dead for sure today. Lu Changkong laughed coldly. He could not possibly agree to Linglong's request. Forget about Linglong being the successor to the Rosefinch blood vessel. Even if she was the king of hell himself, it would be useless. At a time like this, he couldn't be at odds with the Pan family. The most important thing was that once the Rosefinch blood vessel on Linglong was extracted, it would mean that the Rosefinch Martial Art College would have a Rosefinch blood vessel. I beg you, let Senior Brother Long Fei withdraw from the competition. Linglong cried until she was in tears. It was heartbreaking looking at her like this. As for the elders of the God Emperor Academy, they were all like gods standing high above, their eyes cold and filled with ridicule. She looked at Linglong coldly, without a shred of sympathy. Moreover, They were all thinking of one thing in their hearts: kill Long Fei. Ling Long cried, I beg you, please let senior brother Long Fei go. Ha ha ha. Long Fei, do you see? You are currently like an ant struggling to live, so lowly that you need a woman to plead for you. You're really too weak. You're too petty. Ha ha ha. Ouyang Zhan laughed loudly. Didn't you say you wanted to challenge 18 matrial halls? With just you? This kind of trash from the Nantian region wants to accompany us. His voice was like a thunderclap rolling in the sky above the martial arts practice grounds, and not dissipating for a long time. It was also at this time the whole of martial arts arena burst into laughter. Challenge the 18 matrial halls? Ha ha ha. Is he joking? It's all because of Nantian region, and whether they're trash. I think they're brainless and disabled, right? Presumptuous trash. The disciples of the 18 matrial halls all laughed at Long Fei. Seeing Long Fei being crushed, they were all extremely excited in their hearts. Pan Zhan also laughed complacently. Brat, how did it feel to be crushed? It must be great. Ha ha. Ridicule spread in all directions. To challenge the 18 matrial halls was like an enormous joke. Suddenly, Long Fei walked down from stage of powder-making competition and walked towards Ling Long. At this moment, Su Tianhe bellowed, Brat, you want to leave? Without waiting for him to finish speaking, Long Fei's finger moved, pointed at his face, and said, Don't be in such a hurry. I will definitely not leave today. He walked up to Ling Long and gently wiped the tears off her face and said, Ling Long, don't worry, I won't lose. Ling Long looked at Long Fei and said, Senior brother, they will really kill you, they really will. Let's go, don't compete anymore. Song Qianqian and the others also walked over. Song Qianqian immediately said, Long Fei, let's go, we can rush out. Man Tualuo slightly nodded. My poison spirit immortal root has already been cultivated to the 7th level. My poison can make. I'm not leaving. Without waiting for them to finish speaking, Long Fei said directly, Don't worry, I won't be defeated that easily. I won't lose that easily. Qian, Ling Long, listen carefully. Even if I die in the future, I still don't want you all to go beg anyone, especially a person who thinks he is above everyone else. Long Fei swept his gaze across the entire audience. His voice suddenly became heavy, and he coldly laughed. They're now mocking me. After the large competition ends, I want them to respect me as if I'm a god. Finished. Long Fei turned and walked towards the stage of powder-making competition, summoning his god's devil ancient case. Chapter 9:13 Dragon's Ancestor Pill. Chapter 9:13 Dragon's Ancestor Pill. Long Fei stepped onto the stage of powder-making competition, stared at Su Tianhe, and coldly said, Let's begin. Who is stronger? Then he would ruthlessly trample that person to death. The current Long Fei was like a person standing on the edge of a cliff. While he was speaking, Long Fei moved and summoned his god's devil ancient case. Su Tianhe laughed in disdain and said, Brat, then prepare to die. Finished. Su Tianhe moved and took out a pill furnace. On the pill furnace were carvings of all sorts of strange runes. The crowd was once again in an uproar. Ancient powder, tripod. I heard it's the #1 pill furnace in God's martial continent. Principal Su is getting serious. He's going to use his alchemy to suppress Long Fei. Once his pill furnace was out, the Yan Huang ancestors' eyes lit up. What a good thing. It will definitely be greatly nourished. The corner of Long Fei's mouth hooked up as he said, Don't worry, I'll definitely let you eat it. At the same time, in the stands, Ouyang Zhan smiled slightly and said, We should add some oil to Long Fei, add some vinegar to him, and let him feel a little better. Huh. Many of the chairmen were stunned. Ouyang Zhan suddenly said to the referee, The third round of team competition will begin. The referee elder immediately understood and loudly announced, the third round of the team ranking tournament will now begin. Arrogant Dragon Squad against Blood Skeleton's second team. As soon as his voice faded, Xiong Feng's neck shook, his joints popping out, revealing a sinister smile, and said, "Brothers, it's time for us to go up." Han Xueji immediately protested, loudly, "We have just finished the second round, and haven't even finished it yet. Why are we the ones doing the same? I protest." The protest was futile. The referee smiled slightly and said, "I forgot to tell you just now that those teams all admitted defeat." Song Chanqian frowned, then turned to Fairy Hall Elder and protested. "You are obviously targeting us. Do you not care?" One of the Fairy Hall Elders sneered and said, "We only care about the evaluation of the results, whether or not you say it's fair. You protest? If you are capable, then protest to the Supreme God." "You," Song Chanqian was furious. The Fairy Hall Elder sneered. "Little miss, I advise you to hurry up and enter the stage. Otherwise, if you do not enter the stage in half a minute, I will sentence you, Arrogant Dragon Squad, to lose." "Ha ha ha." "Protest." Pan Zhan found it funny. "Don't tell me you don't know that all of them are from my Pan family?" 18 Matrial Halls is a member of my Pan family. Referee. "All of them are my Pan family's people. Long Fei, what do you think you should use to fight with me?" Pan Zhan laughed coldly. Ouyang Zhan also sneered and said, "Is the protest over? If you don't want to go up on stage, then your Arrogant Dragon Squad will stop here." Ha ha ha. Arrogant Dragon Squad. The fate of Long Fei was completely under their control, and there was no way he could escape their grasp. Song Chanqian was angered in his heart. He did not expect that the dignified god's martial continent's #1 academy would actually be such a group of despicable people. And then Song Chanqian shouted, "Kill him ruthlessly once you get on the stage. Don't let Long Fei get distracted." Ouyang Zhan's goal was to distract Long Fei, so he needed to fully devote himself to using his alchemy. Once he was distracted, he would be negligent in controlling the flames, and the quality of the medicinal pellets would be affected. Everything was targeted at Long Fei. Rumble! Xiong Feng stood on the stage, and with both of his arms exploding, the demon beast immortal root in his body released a powerful force and roared, "Little girl, come here. Let's see how lousy will kill you." Ha ha ha. Blood Skeleton's second team, the elite disciples of the White Tiger Kung Fu tribe, had extremely strong cultivation. Moreover, they were all ruthless people. Song Chanqian looked at Long Fei, who was on top of the stage of powder-making competition, and Long Fei also looked at her. Long Fei secretly clenched his fists. "You want to kill me? Let's see who kills who then." Buzz. Long Fei summoned his green dragon medicine tripod. His mind started to spin frantically. He didn't want to distract Song Chanqian, and the others, just like how they didn't want to distract him. He had to hurry and refine the pellet. Chaos Realm's Destiny Changer? Destiny Changer are indeed strong, but this type of medicinal pellet is not suitable for use at this time. Destiny Changer are medicinal pellets that are used to cause a sensation. This sensation was not created by him, but was caused by the outbreak of the War Dragon after being consumed by the Arrogant Dragon Squad. Long Fei thought crazily. "No, Destiny Changer. It's not time yet." Long Fei asked in his mind, "What kind of pill would you like to refine? And what kind of pill would you like to refine?" Suddenly, Green Dragon Ancestor slightly said, "Boss, didn't he want to refine some 9 dragon pill? Just now, what does 9 dragons count as? What is the name of when the power of 14th Dragon Ancestor fuses into medicinal pellets?" Long Fei's eyes lit up, and he immediately became excited. "Understood. Is the 9 dragon pill awesome? Then let me show you what ancestral dragon pills are." And then The power in Long Fei's heart moved. Level 4, variant crystal, nucleo. Devour. Boom. Long Fei's body exploded as a system announcement sounded out. Ding. Player Long Fei has fused with the power of a level 4 variant crystal nucleo. Within 5 minutes, you need to obtain the power of a crystal core's mutation. What was the power of a crystal core mutation? It was the power of the mutated tribulation. He did not use this kind of power to fight or to cultivate, but to convert this power into power of celestial, and use this kind of mutated power to activate the pill furnace. Boom, boom, boom. The aura of the power of celestial on Long Fei's body abruptly changed, and the flames ignited with 7 different colors. He stretched out his right hand and grabbed out a stalk of immortal grass from the god's devil ancient case. It was an immortal herb with dense demonic chi. Moreover, Long Fei stared at Panjan, who was in the observation group, and coldly said with contempt, "Do you think that you're the only one who has a holy herb? This daddy here has a divine, grade demon, spirit immortal grass." What kind of existence was the god's devil ancient case? It could quickly allow spirit grass to evolve and transform again, absorbing a strong demonic energy. Although the spirit grass that Drug Race had brought with him this time wasn't a divine, rank spirit grass. With the evolution of the god's devil ancient case's power, many of them had already evolved into divine, rank, demonic spirit immortal grasses. Its level was higher than the holy herb. Panjan's forehead sank. Su Tianhe's expression was still filled with disdain, and he said, "With your level of alchemy, you basically won't be able to control it. You think your immortal stage of the 9th stage is very powerful. I am also at the 9th stage of the immortal stage." Long Fei's aura exploded again as the spirit grass entered the furnace, completely controlling the powerful spirit liquid inside the spirit grass. Su Tianhe's brows also tightened up at the same time. It was also at this time Ouyang Zhan looked at Xiong Feng on the team competition stage. The idea moved. Attack, kill them all. Do not leave a single one alive. Chapter 9:14. Long Fei is about to go berserk. Chapter 9:14. Long Fei is about to go berserk as soon as he finished. The energy on Xiong Feng's body exploded out as his body transformed, and his clothes burst apart. His body doubled in size, and his body released a cruel aura. In just a second, he had turned into a monster that was half man, half beast, and so on. This was an existence that had cultivated the demon-beast immortal foundation to the 9th realm. "Kill!" Xiong Feng bellowed and rushed forward. Song Qianqian's eyes darkened and said, "Everyone be careful. Xiaoying, protect man Tuoluo. Senior Sister Han, Linglong, you guys are in charge of the left and right wings." After Song Qianqian finished speaking, the celestialine sword in his hand moved, thrusting forward. Xiong Feng simply did not defend at all. With a wild laugh, he used his own body to block it. Buzz! The lunar sword bent under the pressure. The energy of the supreme force burst out from his body, and he rushed forward, letting out a furious roar. "Get lost!" Bam! The power in his body burst forth, flying along the lunar sword. Song Qianqian was also flung out, his body like a fairy from the 9 heavens, flashing through the air, his sword thrusting forward once again. This strike was on the head. Xiong Feng had already turned into a monster, his forehead also facing upwards. Bam! Aside from leaving a trail of blood, he did not receive any damage. Song Qianqian's attacks simply could not harm him. His defense was too powerful. Primordial beasts, his physical body defense had already reached an extremely powerful level. Ordinary attacks weren't enough. Xiong Feng's attacks were also physical attacks. If she could not find a weak point, she would feel that she would not be able to kill Xiong Feng. "Ha ha ha! Little girl, come again." Xiong Feng laughed out loud, his body sinking down as he shouted, "Whoosh!" A sonic boom could be heard. Xiao Ying's expression changed. With a step, he rushed forward, and the violence on his arms surged as he punched towards Xiong Feng's head. Boom! Crack! Bam! The joints of Xiao Ying's right arm broke, and his body was flung out, smashing into the boundary. His face turned pale white, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Xiong Feng laughed out loud. "You want to compare strength with me? You're courting death. Who's next?" Xiong Feng's gaze darkened. He stared at Han Shueji and said, "Senior Sister Han, didn't your arrogant dragon squad want to cripple our blood skeleton team? Where's that trash Dao Feng? You're too scared to come, right? Ha ha ha." Suddenly, Xiong Feng's strength exploded once again when he suddenly rushed out sneakily, and the other 4 people attacked at the same time. Song Qianqian blocked it with her sword, and the sword flew out. Even with her high cultivation, Xiong Feng's defense was too powerful. Cultivating the immortal foundation to the 9th level was simply too terrifying. Bam! Even though Han Shueji was sent flying, he could not endure it any longer. His face was pale as he spat out a mouthful of blood. Arrogant Dragon Squad was completely unable to withstand Xiong Feng's bombardment, and there were 4 people behind him who were working together with Xiong Feng to completely crush Song Qianqian's group of 5. In the stands, Ouyang Zhan loudly laughed and said to Long Fei in a loud voice, "Long Fei, look at those women of yours. They're all about to die one by one." "Right. What do you think about letting them be attacked by a demon beast like monster before they die?" "Ha ha ha. Let's watch the live broadcast. Does anyone want to watch it?" Ouyang Zhan said loudly. He wanted to disrupt Long Fei's attention, just to distract him. In the training field, a loud voice resounded as it said, "Yes. Beautiful women and wild beasts. Wow, this is too exciting. I've only seen the Spring Palace's map, and I've never seen a live broadcast before. Moreover, these 5 women are too beautiful. They'll definitely look even better if they don't wear any clothes. Senior brother Xiong Feng, take off all their clothes." Many of the disciples became excited, as if they had been injected with chicken blood. Swish! A large part of Xiao Ying's sleeve was torn off, and half of his arm was revealed, revealing a small undergarment underneath. Ha ha ha! Xiong Feng laughed lewdly. "Brothers, each of you take one person. Let me have a taste of the strongest one. Ha ha! I will definitely make them feel good about their luck." Inside the boundary, Song Qianqian was constantly thinking of a way, but he was still unable to break through Xiong Feng's defense. Below the arena, Aoya's face trembled in anger. Yuna huffed in anger. "Father, they are too much of a bully." The black knife clenched its fists. Dao Ba continued to curse. Bullying others? They were going to bully all of Long Fei's forces. 19 pairs of fists stood at the side with their chests crossed, coldly laughing. This kind of matter was originally handled by their law enforcement agency, but he didn't stop it because Supreme God had said that he would teach Long Fei a lesson. Moreover, as long as Long Fei did not die, these women would be insulted and raped. He did not care at all. It was the same for the elders of the palace question of God. He had no intention to stop them at all. In fact, he was watching them with relish. Swish! Han Shueji's clothes had been torn apart, and her smooth and fair skin was exposed. It was as if double peaks were about to burst out, causing even more disciples to cry out in excitement. "Wow, it's so big. Ah! I've already had my reaction. Senior brother Xiong Feng, give me a little more strength." They were too excited. Ouyang Zhan laughed loudly again and said, "Long Fei, your women are all about to be stripped." Long Fei clenched his teeth tightly. The killing intent in his heart burst out like a volcano. The killing thought surged, as though it wanted to control his body. Killing intent. An incredibly thick killing intent. However, there was nothing he could do now. Everything depended on Song Chan and the others. At this time, even if he rushed forward, it would be useless because the boundary would block him outside. He was roaring in his heart, angry, and said, Green Dragon Ancestor kept reminding him, "Boss, calm down. You need to calm down." The Yen Huang Ancestor also said, "Long Fei, you have to calm down right now. They want to enrage you and make your alchemy lose, so don't get distracted." Not getting distracted? How could he not be distracted when his woman was humiliated? Not only was Long Fei distracted, his mind was also condensing the killing thought's aura, which was frantically growing. It was as if he was going to go berserk. Long Fei simply could not control it. He also knew that he couldn't afford to be distracted at the critical moment of his alchemy, but he wasn't a god or a saint. If he couldn't do that, then his heart would be filled with rage and killing intent, and he wouldn't be able to calm down. Long Fei roared. Ouyang Zhan was laughing maniacally. The 18 matrial halls' headmaster and elders were laughing wildly. Pan Zhan was laughing maniacally. Palace Question of God was laughing maniacally. The 19th of the law enforcement agency was also laughing wildly. Everyone looked at Long Fei with ridiculing looks and laughed smugly. Long Fei was about to go berserk. Chapter 9:15, Level 7 Unparalleled, Open. Chapter 9:15, Level 7 Unparalleled, Open. I really can't stand it. Long Fei's heart had yet to cultivate to that kind of realm that could cut off all emotions and 6 desires. Seeing his own woman suffering and being humiliated, he sank into a berserk state. It was a very uncomfortable state, an unspeakable discomfort. The pill fire had already lost its balance, and the immortal grass spirit liquid inside the pill furnace began to uncontrollably squeeze out of each other. If this continued, it would definitely fail within half a minute. Calm down. Long Fei, you have to calm down. Boss, calm down. Boss, calm down. They were all anxious. The more anxious Long Fei was, the happier they became. Xiongfeng, strip all of their clothes, and let us see the women on the beauty standings. Look at their skin. Look at their tiny waists. It's so life-threatening. If I were their man, let alone alchemy, even if I was in hell, I would still get up and charge forward. They can't even protect their own women, and they can only watch as they get bullied. How are they even considered men? Just die as soon as possible. All sorts of disdainful voices that were directed at Long Fei resounded from the surrounding grandstands. The anger in Long Fei's heart was almost unbearable. The strong killing intent surged towards the Golden Dragon Master's defensive line again and again. This was Long Fei's own strength. Even the Golden Dragon Master would not be able to defend against it. Jean Long said with difficulty, "Big Brother Azure Dragon, I'm almost at my limit. I can't hold on anymore. Boss will go berserk if this goes on. His body will be controlled by the killing thought." Big Brother Azure Dragon, quickly think of a way. Sea Dragon King angrily said, F***CK his mother. These bastards are trying to make a fool of us. We'll rush out and crush all of them. He's a bad-tempered man. He couldn't tolerate it. Poisonous Ancestor and Blood Dragon Ancestor quickly agreed. I agree, if we don't teach these people a lesson, they would think our boss is so easily bullied. Not waiting for them to finish, Green Dragon Ancestor shouted, "Don't act recklessly. You have not reached a certain point yet. Once we appear, the entire immortal domain will be thrown into chaos, and the consequences will be unimaginable. Don't forget the consequences. when we came to God's martial continent. We can't start a slaughter anymore. Also, he can only endure this trial by himself. Green Dragon Ancestor stopped all the dragons and spoke loudly once again, "Boss, calm down, calm down. The only thing you need to do now is to calm down." Long Fei roared in his heart, "Calm down? Calm down, just calm down. Calm down and let Lousy see. F***CK. I'm going all out." Long Fei was furious in his heart. He couldn't care so much anymore. He couldn't even protect his own woman. What kind of man was this? What right did he have to live in this world? What do you mean by College of Martial Arts training? What do you mean by tribulation? If you can't even protect your own woman, what can you do even if you obtain the entire world? Long Fei's heart exploded again and again, the moment he made his decision. Suddenly, a power he had never felt before descended upon his mind. It fell down like a rain of dew, instantly extinguishing the rage in his mind. Moreover, the frenzied killing intent in his mind was instantly extinguished. This kind of strength was too powerful. One must know that Long Fei could go berserk at any time now, but he couldn't even control it himself. And yet, he was able to control this power. The moment the anger in Long Fei's heart was extinguished, Yunner's body was incomparably weak as she muttered, "Big brother Long Fei, you have to do your best." Following that, she fainted and her eyes darkened. The black knife hugged her gently as his tears flowed. He was very familiar with Yunner's strength just now, because Yunner had used the power within her body to save him back then when he went berserk that year, and that was also when Yunner's eyes became blind. The black knife held onto Yunner tightly, but he did not say anything as he sobbed. "Buzz." Long Fei acted as if he was revived. He focused and instantly controlled the power of Celestial, shouting in his heart, "Green Dragon, it's your turn now." Green Dragon Ancestor's face tensed up and said, "Boss, you just threw in 14 demonic spirit intense immortal grass. You can't control it. If we were to merge our power, I'm worried about you. There's no time. Hurry up." Long Fei did not have much time to drag this on. He had to concoct the pill in the shortest amount of time possible. "Hurry up." Long Fei let out a heavy roar. Green Dragon Ancestor shouted, "Boss, you have control over it. We are going to start now." As soon as he finished, suddenly, the sky above Long Fei suddenly darkened, and a loud dragon roar came out. "The 9-dragon pill, right? I shall let you experience what is called a Dragon Ancestor pill. Azure Dragon, descend. Rumble." The dragon roared, lightning striking down, and the spirit liquid within the powder tripod began to boil, continuously erupting, as though countless evil spirits were trying to break through Long Fei's control. Long Fei's mental energy was stretched taut to the limit, the strength of his alchemy technique unleashed to the extreme. "Patriarch Sea Dragon, fall for me, roar." With a roar, the huge wave hit the shore, and a powerful force slammed into the pill furnace. The power within the pill furnace became even more violent, very difficult to control. "Blood Dragon, descend! Gold Dragon, descend!" Boom, boom, boom. Roar, 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 roar. The green dragon medicine tripod was like a volcano as lightning struck down, and the lava inside surged. Long Fei was drenched in sweat. At the same time, his lips turned white, his teeth chattered, his mind was about to collapse, and he had broken through his limits time and time again. "Ah, Black Dragon, fall for me." Long Fei let out a loud roar. Black Dragon Ancestor roared out, his power becoming even more ferocious. Because it was the last bit of power, it had to play a crucial role. The Black Dragon Ancestor idea moved and said, "Boss, I'm here. Rumble. Long Fei's arm sank. The green dragon medicine tripod seemed to be weighing millions and millions of kilograms, and he couldn't endure it any longer. Long Fei's body was also secretly trembling as the last bit of the ancestor dragon's power descended. Long Fei roared in his heart, level 7 unparalleled. Open. Crack. Wu Shuang had already reached level 7. The 128 points of elemental energy burst out from Long Fei's body. In that moment, it was as if his body was about to be torn apart by the energy. Long Fei's entire body was scarlet red. His power was releasing white smoke like steam. He was also frantically controlling the power in his body, controlling the spirit liquid from the green dragon medicine tripod S. A few seconds later, Long Fei channeled all of his energy into the green dragon medicine tripod. Let me do it! The system rang out. Ding! Chapter 9:16. Infuriated Killing. Chapter 9:16. Infuriated Killing. A system notification rang out. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for successfully refining the pill. The reward is level +1. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Currently at the 9th stage of the Virtual Immortals. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for breaking through the 9th level of the Divine Ranked Alchemy technique, currently at the Divine Ranked Alchemy. The system sounded out continuously. The moment Long Fei heard that he had succeeded, he put down the furnace and ran out. This action shocked everyone. What does this kid want to do? He wants to run. Men, stop him. Don't let him get away. Run? I'd like to see where you can run to. Ouyang Zhan laughed excitedly. He firmly believed that the reason Long Fei had failed his alchemy was because he wanted to escape. Following his command, several senior disciples of the God Emperor Academy rode on swords and landed heavily. They stood in front of Long Fei and shouted coldly, "Trash, let's see where you can run to." Boom, boom, boom. Several figures surrounded Long Fei. In the distance, Dao Ba's expression turned ugly as he shouted, F*CK them. F*CK them to death. Ha! He Shan, One-Eyed, and a few other brothers quickly stood up. The black box on the black knife's back trembled as its fighting spirit ignited. At this moment, Fu Shishan looked at the expression in Long Fei's eyes and said faintly, "Don't attack yet. Isn't Long Fei trying to escape?" She was very clear about Long Fei's personality. He definitely would not run. Even if he lost in alchemy, he would not run away because he had said before that the people of the Long family would never run away. Long Fei's gaze sank, and she coldly said one word, "Scram." "You're courting death. Attack." Several senior disciples rushed forward. Both of Long Fei's eyes burned with anger. With a wave of his right hand, a dragon salure rushed out of thin air. Boom! The black energy blade combusted. Black dragon ancestor was also angry. Long Fei's killing intent rose. He was at the 7th level unparalleled. 128 times the attribute strength was still in his body. He sinisterly shouted, "If you don't move, then all of you will die." Killing God chop. Sweep out all enemies. Chop off the waist. Boom. The power of the dragon salure erupted, and the dragon salure used the power of the god of death to slash horizontally. The sword chi formed a circle as it shot out. The power of the god of slaughter started to surge, forming a shock wave. Boom, boom, boom. A huge energy wave that could be seen with the naked eye came out, and explosions sounded out in the air. Once the blade came out, Long Fei did not even spare them a glance as he let out a low shout, "Those who block me die." Those senior disciples stood still, waiting for Long Fei to rush out of their encirclement. Crack! Blood spurted out from their waists, and their bodies were split into 2 halves. Crack, crack, crack. All 8 of the elite disciples had their waists cut, and they were all instantly killed. The system continuously beeped 8 times. Long Fei didn't care about it. He continued to rush out. Although these 8 disciples could not be considered strong disciples, they were still elites. Their cultivation were all at the virtual immortal stage. And even if one of them could not defeat Long Fei, the 8 of them would definitely be able to tie with Long Fei. However, Long Fei had killed 8 of them in one move, which caused the scalps of many disciples in martial arts arena to go numb. Furthermore, all 8 of them had their waists cut off, and fresh blood flowed all over the ground. Ouyang Zhan was not angry because of the death of the 8 of them. Instead, he was happy. Long Fei, you've killed so many innocent people, it'll be hard for you to escape today, even if you have wings. Not waiting for him to finish, Long Fei said as he ran, Ouyang Zhan, you better not anger me or else I'll kill you. It was extremely disdainful, simply not putting Ouyang Zhan in its eyes. Ouyang Zhan's face turned sinister. He laughed coldly and said, Kill me? Let's see how strong you are, and whether or not you can become the enemy of the entire God Emperor Academy. So, what if it's the entire God Emperor Academy? I'm not afraid of the whole world. Come if you have the guts. Long Fei said arrogantly at this moment. He felt that the side of the competition stage. With a loud shout, he shouted, 1,000! The 5 women turned their heads and looked at Long Fei, who was standing outside the boundary. Immediately, their hearts were set. Their previously flustered expressions were now gone. What replaced them was calmness, and the increase in their strength. Because Long Fei had come, their pillar of support had arrived. Xiong Feng looked at Long Fei, who was outside of the boundary, sneered sinisterly, and said, Who have come from Nantian region? Watch from the outside. Watch how I tear your woman's clothes one by one, and then fiercely insert them into their bodies. It's as if they're still virgins. You just stay outside and watch. He was extremely pleased with himself. The 5 of them had obscene smiles on their faces. The suppressed rage in Long Fei's heart began to burn crazily, and he immediately cursed out in rage. F***CK, your ancestors. The power on his arms surged as he roared loudly, Boundary, break for me. Godly arm. Mountain hit fist. With the strength of both fists, he directly punched forward, smashing onto Boundary, causing a strong gust of wind to blow across Boundary's calm lake. Wave after wave. And it was also at this moment that the powerful energy in the formation Boundary suddenly rebounded and directly blasted Long Fei away. Rumble! Bam! Long Fei was sent flying 100 meters away, heavily smashing onto the ground. He spat out a mouthful of blood. Ha ha ha. This brat is really retarded. He actually went to attack the boundary. Is his head full of shit? Brat, use more strength. Ha ha ha. This old man is going to die from laughter. Bomb boundary formation? Is he crazy? Array boundary was not something that could be broken simply by relying on strength. It was a type of array that required one to destroy the array core in order to break it. It was almost impossible. Long Fei crawled up, and once again rushed forward. With one leap, he looked down from above, and with both fists, he shouted, Roar! Roar! The violent diamond ape roared furiously in the air. The power of the battle axe smashed down onto the top of boundary heavily, like an object falling from high in the sky. The boundary was suppressed by the powerful impact. The expressions of everyone in the martial arts practice grounds changed. Isn't this strength too abnormal? What kind of power is this? To think that it could actually suppress the boundary to such a state. However, after being pressed down by boundary for half a second, an extremely strong backlash burst out from boundary, hitting him one by one. Boom! Long Fei was like a cannonball as he was blasted into the sky. Ha ha ha. So what if his strength is strong? He was still blown away by the impact. What use is that? Trash is trash. Long Fei's figure disappeared into the sky, completely gone. However, in the sky, Long Fei clenched his teeth, thinking about the people from Boundary, Linglong, and the others. The anger in his heart surged. I don't believe it. Little Li Fei, Raging Blade. Ah. Chapter 9:17, Breaking Boundary. Chapter 9:17, Breaking Boundary. At the same time, Long Fei was blasted into the sky and disappeared inside the boundary. Xiong Feng took a step forward, looked lecherously at Song Qianqian and the rest of the five, and said with a smile, Long Fei is just an idiot. He simply doesn't know that the stronger the power the boundary is under, the stronger the anaphasic force. Now it's your turn. Ha ha ha. Xiong Feng laughed obscenely. Aside from Man Tualuo, most of the people's clothes were torn. It was also at this time. Man Tualuo suddenly walked out and said, I'm ready. Song Qianqian's heart relaxed, and he exhaled deeply, and then took a step back and said, Everything will be up to you now. Han Shueji reminded, We have to make them lose immediately. I'm worried that Long Fei will really split Boundary apart. When that happens, this competition will be treated as our loss. Xiaoying also said, Miss Quickly, if Long Fei really blasted Boundary into the fighting arena, he would definitely go berserk, and the dead zone would tear Xiong Feng's head off at that time. Even if they win, they would be sentenced to lose. Because he was a team competition. It was their team competition. If Long Fei came, it would be 6 people. They had no doubt that Long Fei being able to defeat the boundary was just a matter of time. At this moment, suddenly someone shouted, Look at the sky! The phantom of a dragon! What's that? It's a blade, and there's another person. Many people raised their heads to look over. A dragon-shaped saber chi wrapped around the dragon salyer. The dragon salyer quickly shuttled back and forth, cutting through the air. Not far behind the dragon salyer, there was a person. His fists were shining with a golden light. This was the glory of a holy artifact, a mutated monarch glove, and also the peak strength of the mountain hit fist. That person is Long Fei. Damn, he's still alive. The backlash from the boundary was able to turn any virtual Immortals stage martial artist into ashes. But he's not dead yet. He hasn't given up yet. This person is really stupid. Why is he fighting with an unbreakable boundary? Doesn't he know that the stronger the impact, the stronger the rebound? What a brainless person. In the sky, a saber and a person came crashing down vertically. Unstoppable. Linglong said, The senior brother is coming. Hurry up. Xiong Feng sneered and shouted, Brothers, it's time. Strip them of all their clothes and let us experience their naked bodies. Ha! The 5 of them rushed out. Man Tualuo muttered some words. Her body released a special kind of aura. Her aura was colorless and formless, but like a ghost, it crazily rushed into Xiong Feng and the others' breaths. Ghost door. Undead descent. Devour to your heart's content. The look in Man Tualuo's eyes suddenly changed drastically. The power of the poison spirit immortal root in his body burst forth, controlling the poison that was being sucked into Xiong Feng's body. At this moment, Xiong Feng immediately knelt on the ground, his hands clutching his throat as his body twisted. His face was turning black, and from his mouth and nose, black smoke crazily floated out from his eyes. It was as if his pupils had been swallowed and turned into black holes. No, no. A mad, miserable scream rang out. It was like seeing the most terrifying scene in the world. In just 2 seconds, Xiong Feng, who was initially defenseless, turned back into a human body, curled up into a ball, and after trembling a few times, died. The other 4 people were the same. Dead. It was also at this time that Man Tualuo's body grew limp and his entire face paled. He fell backwards and fainted. Mississippi, Xiao Ying immediately supported her. It was too strange. In less than 3 seconds, Xiong Feng and the other 4 were instantly killed. This was the time that Song Qianqian and the rest fought for Man Tualuo, and it was also when Man Tualuo exploded his full strength. Her poison was deadly. He won. The entire audience was stunned. Ouyang Zhan's face turned ugly. However, Long Fei didn't notice this. You can't break it, right? I want to see just how strong you are. He did not notice that Xiong Feng's group of 5 was cured by Man Tualuo's poison and continued to fiercely attack. Unstoppable. Just like a comet. Everyone in the martial arts arena was dumbfounded. Crap, boss doesn't know about the situation in Boundary. This time, it's over. The power that he released this time was even stronger. The backlash from the Boundary was even stronger. He would definitely be killed from the backlash. Crazy, truly crazy. Some were shocked, and some even laughed as they watched Long Fei's heavy blow fall down. For example, Panzhan. For example, Ouyang Zhan and the dozen or so elders were all laughing. Everyone knew that the stronger the force that struck the Boundary, the stronger the force that rebounded back in the Boundary. There was only one consequence for Long Fei to be able to withstand the force. Die. Looking at Long Fei, who had descended from the skies, Song Qianqian's face changed greatly as he said in a loud voice, Long Fei, we've won. We've won. Senior brother, don't attack Boundary. Long Fei simply could not hear their voices. Even if he heard it, he had no way to retract his power right now. Once he retracted his power, the recoil would be even more violent. It was even more powerful than the Boundary. Ah, break for me. Long Fei roared and released his power. The dragon Salyer stabbed at the Boundary. Ouyang Zhan couldn't help but laugh out loud. Idiot! Brainless! He's going to die soon. The power of the Boundary was unbreakable, and the Boundary on the stage was trying to prevent the strong energy from leaking out and injuring the surrounding disciples, so its defense was extremely strong, an existence that couldn't be destroyed at all. Just when they were watching Long Fei make a fool of himself, when they all thought that Long Fei was a fool, when they were all laughing out loud complacently, crack! A crack appeared on the Boundary as the dragon Salyer's tip slightly pierced through the Boundary. The black dragon ancestor inside the dragon Salyer roared, and the dragon Salyer ate another half of it. Crack! A series of cracks in the ice could be heard, but it did not completely break the Boundary. In that instant, Long Fei came crashing down. His fists moved. Emperor Punch. The mutated Emperor's boxing glove, which was several times stronger than normal, was thrown out and heavily smashed into the dragon Salyer's hilt. Break. He gave the order. Long Fei's fist struck down. The dragon Salyer pierced through the entire body of the sword like a hot knife through butter. At the same time, the barrier of the Boundary cracked like a spider web. Rumble! In just half a second, the Boundary was shattered. It disappeared with a hum. It was also at this moment that Long Fei came crashing down. Move against my woman, I will kill you all. The scene was simply too shocking. The entire martial arts training ground instantly quieted down, as if they were all looking at a monster. Chapter 9:18. My boss. Chapter 9:18. My boss too abnormal. The Boundary was destroyed. Was this person even more freakishly powerful than him? Martial arts arena was completely silent. Even his head was numb. A virtual immortal stage warrior had broken through Boundary. This person was completely crazy. Just now, Ouyang Zhan was mocking Long Fei. Panjan mocked Long Fei. Most of the people in martial arts arena were laughing at him. But what about now? They felt that they were the ones who were dumb, retarded, and retarded. Long Fei used his power to give them a fierce slap on the face, and it was the loudest slap ever. As long as you do it, anything is possible. Even in the face of the impossible, it was still possible. Dao Ba's eyes trembled. His heart was filled with incomparable worship as he loudly shouted, "Boss is mighty!" Hey Sean, One-Eyed, Baldy, and the others all stood up and shouted loudly, "Boss is overbearing!" At this moment, they couldn't find any words to describe the excitement in their hearts, so they could only shout out loud and scream, venting out their displeasure to their heart's content. Who's the F** king trash now? Who's F** king retarded? Who's retarded? What do you guys know? They shouted loudly. Some of them were all excited, and that feeling was indescribable. In their hearts, they were all worshiping Long Fei. It was too good to follow such a big boss. Too handsome. With their shouts, the silent martial arts practice grounds began to boil. What was that just now? Is he really a virtual immortal stage cultivator? What's his name? I want to buy him. I'll buy him no matter how much it costs. Nantian region. Nantian region, the people of Nantian region, are actually this strong. His name is Long Fei. He wouldn't be the former super strong overlord of the gods, Martial Continent. The one who crushed over 100 super ancient family, right? Back then, Pan family had been completely crushed by Long family to the point where he could not even breathe. He's too handsome. If I were a woman, I would definitely fall in love with him. The entire audience was boiling and was ignited by the burst of energy released from Long Fei's body. Everyone was excited. The shock brought by Long Fei was simply too soul-stirring. Long Fei looked at Xiong Feng, who was on the stage, scratched his head, and asked awkwardly, "They are all dead?" He thought he could save the girl with a hero. However, it was also at this time. Song Qianqian walked forward, her eyes calm, and walked to Long Fei and suddenly kissed him. She did not know how to express her excitement. His heart was moved. She couldn't find a word to describe it. Never. There had never been a man who had lived life and death for her, and there had never been someone who treated her like Long Fei before. It was directly taken down by Long Fei. Hugging Long Fei's neck, she fiercely kissed him. At the same time, her tears flowed profusely as tears streamed down her face. After kissing her, she said, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." The two words that kept saying, "Thank you," made Long Fei a little confused. However, Song Qianqian suddenly went up to kiss him. Long Fei did not know how to react. His body felt as though it had been electrocuted, and he stood rooted to the spot. It was only when he saw Song Qianqian's tears that Long Fei managed to react. Gently wiping the tears off her face, Long Fei said, "Don't be like this. There's a lot of people watching." Song Qianqian didn't care how many people were watching her. She laid on Long Fei's shoulder and fiercely bit his shoulder. Long Fei was in great pain, but inside he was happy. About that, I didn't have the time to react just now. Why don't we do it again now? Long Fei became evil. Just now was too fast and too sudden. He could not react at all. When he came back to his senses, he realized that there was a sweet taste in his mouth. Song Qianqian glared at him and said, "You wish." At this moment, Walala, the crowd went into an uproar. Countless young men and women were heartbroken. Countless young girls were screaming because this scene was too exciting. The scene of countless young girls dreaming in their hearts. It was enough to make people jealous and envious. So handsome. It seems that a man can treat me like this, regardless of his life or death, to save me. You can fall. With your 300 gene body, Who would save you? You won't even make it out in time. Damn, my first goddess is gone just like that. Everyone was in an uproar. Although Long Fei did not do anything, he did not care about the backlash brought by the boundary, and he did not fear life and death. It made the people around Long Fei even more excited, because there was a man who risked his life for them. He was proud of having such a big boss. Outside the stage, Aoya looked at Long Fei. She was moved to such a state. At this moment, her heart was intoxicated. Long Fei, is this your charm? At this moment, boom, there was a loud bang above stage of powder-making competition, and the space between Su Tianhe's eyebrows loosened. He started laughing maniacally from excitement. The 9-dragon pill was successfully refined. Long Fei, come and die quickly. His voice shook. It was also at this time. Ouyang Zhan's eyes lit up, and he immediately started laughing complacently. Long Fei, if you are willing to bet, you have to admit your loss and give me your life. The dozen or so principal powerhouse also became excited. If not for Su Tianhe's success in alchemy, they would have forgotten about this matter. So what if he saved arrogant Dragon Squad? Alchemy had lost his life, and they only wanted Long Fei's life. Ha ha ha. Let's see how you still act arrogant. Alchemy competition is about your life. Kid, it's time for your death. Many people clamored. S complexion had also improved a little. Just now, when Long Fei had broken boundary, he had felt a strong sense of pressure, especially from the surrounding people's discussions. Long Family's history of crushing Pan family into a dog caused him to be extremely unhappy. A disciple of the Long family could cause such a sensation. S heart turned sinister. No matter what, I can't let Long Fei live. Long Fei took a step forward and stared at Ouyang Zhan, laughed coldly, and said, Are you so sure that I will lose? Song Qianqian pulled Long Fei's hand and said in a low voice, Long Fei, let's escape. The other 4 women also walked over and said, Senior brother, we... Without waiting for them to finish speaking, Long Fei smiled lightly and said, Rest assured, the things that happened today will never happen again. I will absolutely not let you take the risk again. Finished. He lightly pulled out his arm, raised it in the air, and stepped onto the stage of powder-making competition. He stared at Su Tianhe and said, Once I refine the 9-dragon pill, I will definitely win. Ha ha. Su Tianhe laughed sinisterly. Is there any medicine stronger than 9-dragon pill in this world? Kid, I said it already, you will die today. I will kill you with my own hands. Su Tianhe laughed complacently. Long Fei sneered and said, Don't worry, I will also personally kill you. My boss. Who lost? Who won? Who lost? Who won? The smell of gunpowder was overwhelming. On stage of powder-making competition, Long Fei stared at Su Tianhe. Su Tianhe also looked at Long Fei. The distance between them was less than 5 meters, but the thick smell of gunpowder wafted out. Ouyang Zhan respectfully said, Fairy Hall Elder, please judge. He did not dare to be disrespectful to Fairy Hall Elder in the slightest. The 8 elders of the Palace Question of God stood up, their faces expressionless, and walked over to the stage of powder-making competition. At this moment, everyone's attention was on the 8 of them, and they all started to feel nervous. Who will win? Damn, is that even necessary? Of course Principal Su can win. He is God Emperor Academy's #1 alchemist. He has never lost in alchemy before. Isn't that Long Fei going to die? He's bound to lose. Fu Xishan and the others were secretly worried. The one competing with Long Fei was none other than the #1 alchemist of the God Emperor Academy, the Su Tianhe who had never lost. More importantly, The 9-dragon pill was known as the #1 divine pill of the gods' martial continent, an existence that could not be surpassed. A 9-dragon pill refined from 9 holy herbs, an existence that was unmatched. It was impossible for Long Fei to win. Dao Boss said, "Hey Sean, one-eyed, Baldy, if boss loses later, we will immediately cause some trouble and cause chaos." Understood. To create chaos. Only then would Long Fei be able to escape from this chaos. Black Knife's were also linked to the long blade in the black box. Looking at his unconscious daughter in his arms, he placed all his hope on Long Fei. The atmosphere was tense. Song Qianqian and the others also made their preparations. Ouyang Zhan also explained a bit, then said, "No matter what, we cannot let Long Fei escape." In his opinion, in this competition of powder-making competition, Long Fei was definitely going to lose. Long Fei will definitely not accept his fate, and will definitely resist. At that time, Ouyang Zhan sneered, "See how I'll kill you." The undercurrents surged. Their hearts hung at their throats as they stared at stage of powder-making competition without moving. He felt as if a great war was about to break out. The 8 Fairy Hall elder first observed the 9-dragon pills Su Tianhe had refined, and the expression on their faces were all extremely shocked, with shock that they were unable to conceal. Su Tianhe was very proud, looking at their expressions. He knew that he had won. A Fairy Hall elder suddenly asked, "Are you selling this 9-dragon pill? I bid 1,000 immortal crystals." The moment he said that, the entire martial arts practice field was in an uproar. What did 1,000 immortal crystals mean? If it was exchanged into a fairy stones, wouldn't it become a mountain? 1,000 immortal crystals. What does that mean? My God. Even Fairy Hall elder wants this pellet. The 9-dragon pill is too powerful. This time Long Fei will lose without a doubt, without any suspense. Ha ha ha. Let's see if this brat still dares to be arrogant. Let's see how he will continue being arrogant this time. Many people were looking forward to Long Fei making a fool of himself, hoping to see a good show. Su Tianhe slightly said, "Thank you, Master. It's just that the ingredients for this pill were provided by the great clan elder of the Pan family. I am unable to make a decision." Pan Zhan immediately stood up and said, "Since an elder has spoken, how can I let you spend the money? This 9-dragon pill will be directly given to you." The Fairy Hall elder immediately laughed and said, "Then I'll have to thank Elder Pan." Following that Fairy Hall elder immediately announced and said, "There's no need to continue the competition. Su Tianhe wins. No pill can surpass this 9-dragon pill. Kid, you've lost. Accept your fate." He didn't even look at the pellet Long Fei had refined to say that Long Fei had lost. It wasn't because he was biased, but because the 9-dragon pill was really too strong. It was an existence that no pill could match. Su Tianhe immediately laughed complacently and said, "Long Fei, give me your life." Long Fei sneered coldly and said arrogantly, "Everyone says that the palace question of god elders are powerful, but seeing it today is indeed extraordinary. Even without looking, you all know that I have lost. I would like to ask, you all are just a bunch of trash. Palace question of god. Tisk, it's just so." He directly pointed at the Fairy Hall elders' noses and cursed. At this moment, Long Fei was very unhappy. Regardless of whether they were biased or not, Long Fei was not in a good mood. A Fairy Hall elder immediately shouted, "Brat, you dare insult Palace question of God. Are you courting death?" Long Fei grinned and said, "Your mother isn't here. If your mother was, I would even dare to insult your mother. I think all of you are blind. You're just a bunch of conceited old fogies." The chi on the elder's body roiled, and a thick pressure instantly came crushing down. Gold Dragon! Long Fei shouted in his heart. Jean Long replied, easily, understood. The pressure was instantly blocked. Long Fei sneered and said, did I say something wrong? You guys didn't even look at it before saying that I have lost. So what if I insult your palace question of God? Are you unhappy? Not good, come bite me. The Fairy Hall Elder's eyes were filled with anger. Just as he was about to charge forward, he was stopped by another Fairy Hall Elder. He smiled faintly as he looked at Long Fei. We did not test your pills because there are no pills comparable to those 9-dragon pills. Without waiting for him to finish, Long Fei immediately interrupted him and said, that's because you all think I don't think so, so your palace question of God isn't really that good either. Ignorant and ignorant. He was looking down on the Fairy Hall Elder. He was just playing with fire and setting himself on fire. There was a limit to being arrogant, but he dared to be so arrogant in front of Fairy Hall Elder. He was simply courting death. Long Fei was just like that. The higher you are, the more arrogant he will be, and he will trample you to death with the most arrogant attitude. The expressions of the 8 Fairy Hall Elder all darkened. Su Tianhe shouted and said, Brat, you dare to speak to Fairy Hall Elder like that. Are you seeking death? Long Fei pointed at Su Tianhe's nose and cursed. Scram to the side. I don't have time to care about you right now. Stand obediently to the side. I'll come back later to kill you. It was also at this time. A Fairy Hall Elder said coldly, let me see how strong your pills are. Finished. He took a step forward and looked at the black, unassuming pellet on the table. The idea moved, and used his strength to sense it. At this moment, his entire body froze, his brows locked tighter and tighter, unable to utter a single word. Elder Wu, what's the situation? Seeing his expression, another clan elder walked over. His idea moved slightly, and in that moment, it was as if his body was struck by lightning, his eyes darkened. He was also unable to say a word. What was going on? Another Fairy Hall Elder walked up. What are you two doing? Wasn't it just an ordinary pill? No matter how strong you are, there can never be a 9-dragon pill. Not waiting for him to finish. His pupils constricted, and his face turned aghast. He couldn't say a word. The remaining 5 people walked up together. The moment their idea moved, they were all stunned in an instant. It was also at this time, carrying the dragon salure on his shoulder, Long Fei walked to Su Tianhe's side with a deathly smile. Chapter 9:20 Arhut. Chapter 9:20 Arhut. The 8 elders of the palace question of God stared at a pill in a daze. His eyes glazed over, and he was so shocked that he couldn't say a word. On the other hand, Long Fei walked to Su Tianhe's side with a sinister sneer while carrying a dragon salure on his shoulder, and said, I said I would kill you with my own hands. Su Tianhe said in disdain, Brat, you think you've won? The one who wins is me. No one can refine a pill stronger than the 9-dragon pill. No one. Although the 8 Fairy Hall Elder were all shocked, Su Tianhe believed that the one who would win in the end would definitely be him. Moreover, the 8 Fairy Hall Elders had all been bribed by the Pan family, so it was impossible for them to declare that he had lost. No matter what, he would win this battle. Long Fei grinned from ear to ear and said, It's true that there's no one here, but I am a god. As soon as he finished, Long Fei yelled out, Announce the result. The 8 Fairy Hall Elders regained their composure and looked at each other in dismay. Their hearts were very excited, incomparably excited, because the pills Long Fei had refined made them feel as if they had seen something from another world. Very powerful. The shock he felt in his heart was indescribable. An elder looked excited and asked, Long Fei, how did you refine this pill? What is this pill called? What kind of technique was it? Why? A small pill seems to be stronger than an entire world. They couldn't help but want to know. Long Fei said, "Do you want to know? If you want to know, then make the results public. I'll let you know later." What Long Fei wanted to do now was to kill this boss, Su Tianhe. There was an impatient look on his face. It was not only because Su Tianhe was a boss, but also because there was an exclamation mark above his head. It was useless to click it, and there was no quest triggered. If that wasn't the case, then there was only one way. Kill him. Long Fei muttered in his heart, "I want to see what exactly this boss is hiding." The 8 of them narrowed their eyes. Pan Zhan slowly stood up. Ouyang Zhan's expression also tightened. The entire martial arts arena looked at the 8 elders, waiting for their announcement. It was as if his heartbeat could be heard clearly. The result of their declaration was the same as a death sentence. The 8 of them lowered their heads in disgust. One of the Fairy Hall elder looked at Pan Zhan and slowly said, "Su Tianhe." When Su Tianhe heard his name, he immediately became excited and started laughing complacently. "I won, ha ha ha. Long Fei, you prepare to die." He hadn't finished his happiness yet. The elder continued, "Defeat. Su Tianhe defeated. Long Fei wins." Su Tianhe's expression also instantly distorted. His smile became extremely stiff and unsightly, as if he had been slapped 18 times in a row. "Impossible. It's absolutely impossible. No one can compare to my 9 dragon pill, and I won't lose. You must have made a mistake. You must have been wrong." Su Tianhe's voice trembled slightly. However, the dragon sallier on Long Fei's shoulder moved, grinning from ear to ear. "Su Tianhe, go and die." Boom! The black dragon ancestor within the dragon sallier roared and soared into the sky. Long Fei was enraged. Dark dragon god slash. It hacked down towards the top of Su Tianhe's head. "Explode for me!" Su Tianhe's cultivation was above Long Fei's, but he was currently in a state of panic, and he never expected Long Fei to actually dare attack him. He was the principal of the Elixir Martial Arts branch. His status was high and mighty. Who would dare to touch him, let alone a student? Even Green Dragon Hegumen would not dare to touch him. Thus, he wasn't prepared. When he saw Long Fei's blade slash down, Su Tianhe regretted and shouted, "Save me, Elder Pan! Save me, Green Dragon Hegumen! Save me!" Ouyang Zhan roared, "Long Fei, you dare!" With a jolt in the air, a powerful force came crushing down. The disciples of the entire Elixir Martial Arts branch also suddenly stood up, watching Long Fei's blade slash down. Many disciples all roared out loudly, "Brat, stop it right now!" Pan Zhan also shouted out, "Stop! Stop! Ha ha ha! Stop your mother!" Long Fei laughed coldly. "If you are willing to lose, then explode. Rumble!" The unstoppable dark dragon god's blade chi swept out. The blade slashed down and landed on Su Tianhe's neck. The blade landed as fresh blood spurted out. Ah! Miserable cries rang out in the void. Long Fei killed with 1 slash. The system sounded out. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Elixir Martial Arts Branch's president, Su Tianhe for obtaining 300,000 experience, 12,000 power of celestial, and 10 energy values. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the 9 Dragon Pills recipe. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 120 Spirit Dawn. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Meteorite Powder Tripod. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 3 Immortal Crystals, 123 Fairy Stones. Ding! Congratulations to the player Long Fei for triggering the 18R Hook quest. Are you sure you want to accept? Mission: subdue the 18R hits. Time: 1 month. Task reward: 1 million experience points, 30,000 power of celestial, 18 Arhats fused together, can trigger the Arhut King Kong. The system beep sounded continuously. Long Fei was a little dazed. 18 Arhats? Arhut King Kong? What is this? The system's description was not very clear. Logically speaking, since the Sword Force King Kong had not finished, there should not be a new mission for the King Kong. But with the appearance of the 18 Arhats, only be triggered if the mission was completed. 18 Arhats. How can I complete this task? Long Fei was a little confused. The system did not give him any hints. Suddenly, when he thought about the golden-colored exclamation mark on Su Tian's head, he was shocked. 18 Arhats, the principal of the 18 matrial halls. 18 bosses, ha ha ha. I got it. The 18 Arhats are the principal who killed the 18 matrial halls. Long Fei's heart started boiling. This is the 18 Arhats. Then blow him all the way. It was also at this time Yen Huang ancestor swallowed the meteorite powder tripod, and with a satisfied expression he said, "Good stuff, it's too good." At this time, Ouyang Zhan landed heavily on the ground. His eyes was filled with killing intent as he glared at Long Fei and roared, "You actually dare to kill the principal? Long Fei, you are too presumptuous." Long Fei sneered and said, "Big bro is this impudent. What can you do about it?" "Huh. Unconvinced. If you can't accept it, then bite me." Ouyang Zhan's killing intent soared to the sky. Chapter 921, Personal Warfare. Chapter 921, Personal Warfare. Ouyang Zhan's killing intent soared to the sky. Long Fei was too arrogant. The anger in his heart was just like Su Tianha's and couldn't be suppressed any longer. It was also at this time. A dozen or so headmasters all landed at the same time, all staring at Long Fei with killing intent. Long Fei also looked at them, one by one. He was not afraid, but he revealed an excited smile. "You want to go up together? Come on. Do you think I'm afraid of you? Let's attack together." Long Fei started to feel good in his heart. It's best if we go together and finish the principal of the remaining 17 College of Martial Arts training as together. That way, we can complete the mission of the 18 Arhats. It was also at this time a Fairy Hall elder coughed lightly and said, willing to admit defeat, this kid did not do anything wrong. If you have to blame Su Tianhe for being useless. A dignified elixir martial arts branch principal's alchemy can't even compare up to a student's. He deserves death. Another Fairy Hall elder said in disdain. Ouyang Zhan's gaze darkened, and the anger in his heart was immediately suppressed by these two words. He said, Elder blatantly killing the College of Martial Arts Training's principal. This has a huge impact on the God Emperor Academy. If word of this gets out, it will affect the reputation of the Academy. Humph! If you still care about the reputation of the Academy, then you should be fair to us. Don't think that we don't know anything. An elder snorted coldly. Ouyang Zhan immediately no longer dared to speak. He looked at Pan Zhan from the corner of his eyes. At this time, Pan Zhan had already sat down. Didn't these Fairy Hall elder get bribed by them? Why did he speak up for Long Fei at this time? He was confused. Let alone them. Even Pan Zhan had just figured it out, because Pan Sheng told them through sound transmission. It was also because of this that they were willing to defend Long Fei. As for why, they did not know either, and probably only Pan Sheng knew. Long Fei wasn't sure either. However, he now thought that it was the Supreme God's intention, his two eyes looking at the sky, his heart sneering. It seems like you really do not wish for anything to happen to me. If it weren't for Supreme God's order, who would dare do such a thing? Long Fei felt that the Supreme God was more treacherous than ever, but he started to laugh coldly in his heart. Since that's the case, then I will make good use of you. Let's see what your limit is. Long Fei looked at Ouyang Zhan and said, Did you hear that? If you're not satisfied, then come and fight. Ouyang Zhan's gaze turned sinister as he said, Brat, do you think I'm afraid of you? With a level of cultivation at the 7th stage of the golden immortal realm, what was there to be afraid of? What a joke! Long Fei carefully looked at the top of Ouyang Zhan's head, but there was no golden exclamation mark, which meant that the second person who was going to kill wasn't him. It was the same for the remaining 16, as none of them appeared above Su Tianhe. Wait! Suddenly, Long Fei saw the exclamation mark that was floating above the head of one of the principals at the back of the crowd. His gaze tensed up slightly as he thought to himself, Rosefinch Martial Art College principal Lu Chongkong. The corners of his mouth curled up in a cold smile. Long Fei looked at Ouyang Zhan and said, If you aren't afraid of me, then come. I didn't flip through your 4 matrial halls last time. Wasn't there someone who wanted the Rosefinch blood vessels, Ling Long, to kneel? Wasn't there someone trying to kill Ling Long and steal the blood vein from her body? That guy, come out. I'll start with you. Long Fei stared at Lu Chongkong and bellowed. Lu Chongkong was furious. The spirit chi on his body burst forth, and he shouted, Long Fei, there must be a limit to your arrogance. Don't think that just because you can cut down boundary, your alchemy will be able to be so unbridled on our 4 matrial halls. You don't have the qualifications to do so. You don't even have the qualifications for me to attack. You want to fight me? In the individual battle 2 days from now, if you have the ability, you will be number 1. You can challenge anyone from the God Emperor Academy. Lu Chongkong said coldly, At that time, I will let you know the difference between heaven and earth. The first place in the individual battle allowed one to easily challenge others. If he wins, then you can take whatever position he has. Which means if Long Fei wins the Elder, he will be able to obtain the position of God Emperor Academy Elder. And if he wins the principal, then he will be the principal. If he could win against the 18 principals, then he is dean. Long Fei grinned and said slightly, Understood. Then wash my ass clean for me. Finished. Long Fei walked down the stage of powder-making competition without looking back. Extremely savage. Lu Chongkong coldly snorted. Then we'll see how you die. Long Fei took the ancestral dragon pill and walked down the stage of powder-making competition. The 17 principals watched him leave, and the 8 Fairy Hall elders watched him leave. The entire martial arts practice field, especially the spectators, were all boiling with excitement. Too cool. So handsome that it dropped to the ground. My heart can feel that he is dancing on the scythe of the god of death. To dare to challenge the 18th Dean, to dare challenge the Fairy Hall Elder, just how strong is Long Fei? Is this the people from the Nantian region? Is this the people from the Long family? Countless people had been subdued by the savagery on Long Fei's body. Watching him fight was an indescribable pleasure. How did you refine your pill? Why does that medicinal pill possess the power of the entire world? Long Fei, you haven't answered our questions. A few Fairy Hall elders asked loudly. Long Fei didn't even turn his head around, nor did he pay any attention to him. In 3 days, this pellet will appear in the auction of Fengyuan Business Alliance. I will let you know when the time comes. Auction? The auction of the Fengyuan Business Alliance. Immediately get me a ticket. I'll definitely buy this pill. Even Fairy Hall Elder is panic-stricken by this pill. It's even more powerful than 1,000 immortal crystals worth of 9 dragon pills. Even if I can't afford it, I want to take a look. All of a sudden, Fengyuan Business Alliance appeared in everyone's vision once again. Fu Xishan was secretly grateful in his heart. At the same time, she secretly planned in her mind. Since Long Fei caused a sensation today, then she should be able to release the second step, the Zhuge sword fragment. In another place, Palace Question of God. Within the Supreme God's secret room, 19 phantoms stood there and said, Supreme God, I really don't understand. Didn't you say that you wanted to teach Long Fei a lesson? Why, he did not understand why he did not stop Long Fei from killing Su Tianhe. He did not understand why the 8 Fairy Hall elders announced Long Fei's victory. This wasn't a suppression at all. Supreme God smiled slightly. Personal qualifying fight is the key. You will know about it in the future. They all wanted to see what kind of place the Nantian region, which Long Fei lived in, was like, and they all wanted to see what kind of family it was. Nantian region. Long Fei muttered. His heart slightly sank as he said, Nantian region must return, but not now. Nantian region was also known as the Trash's land, but there were no changes. If he wanted to change everyone's opinion, the only way would be to win all the way and destroy 18 matrial halls and use his own strength to prove everything. Also, he still had too many things to accomplish. The 18 Arhot missions in front of him, Aoya had yet to be tamed. The Sword Force King Kong, Arrogant Knife King Kong, and Arhot King Kong had yet to return. His father, he did not even understand all these. How could it be the Nantian region? What right did he have to go back? He had come with the mission of rising to the Nantian region. What face did he have to go back if he failed to accomplish anything? He hadn't even seen his father. So what if he went to see his grandfather? We have to figure this out before we go back. Although Long Fei wanted to return to the Nantian region all the time, a man must have a sense of responsibility. Song Qianqian looked at Long Fei and said, the following matches will definitely still be against you at every turn. I'm worried about you. Everyone looked at Long Fei. Long Fei smiled faintly and said, the more they target me, the stronger I get. The more they can't target me, the crazier they will go. Don't worry, I will definitely endure everything. He would absolutely not admit defeat. the Jedi would not bow their heads. There was no such word as surrender, escape, in his dictionary. Aoya. Long Fei looked at Aoya and said, I'll have to trouble you to make a trip to God's Phoenix Pavilion so that you can make some preparations so that you can release the message that a Juga sword fragment will appear at the auction. Also, Long Fei took out a bottle and a pill formula from his bosom. There are Destiny Changer S in here. Let drug race elders get used to it first. I want all of these 2 gods General S to buy as many as they can. Also, the auction venue must not be too big. There's no need for too many seats, just 100. This is the hunger marketing. The price for each seat is set at 100 fairy stones. Long Fei slowly said. Oya nodded and said, Okay, I will go right now. Aoya quickly left. Following that, Long Fei took out a few level 2 variant crystal nucleus and said, These are variant crystal nuclei. They will allow you all to raise your cultivations in a short period of time. Don't worry about its value. I have plenty. Long Fei handed over the mutated, immortal crystals. The Ming God's general was a fierce battle, so Long Fei didn't have enough preparations in the past. You can all cultivate, Long Fei said as he walked towards Qiu Wandao's courtyard. The battle on the first day of Arrogant Dragon Squad was too arduous. Long Fei did not want these girls to take any more risks. He only hoped that Qin Tianfei and the rest could recover quickly. A Pan Family Hall, Green Dragon Matrial Hall, White Tiger Kung Fu Tribe, Rosefinch Martial Art College, and the Black Tortoise College of Martial Arts Training were all standing in the Great Hall with displeased expressions on their faces. Su Tianhe's death had made them all feel great, because they had agreed on everything, but now they were being used as guns. Ouyang Zhan said, Elder Pan, you must give an explanation for today's matter. It is Su Tianhe who has died today, so there is a possibility that we will be the ones to die tomorrow. They were well aware of the power of the Pan family. They knew that the 8 Fairy Hall Elder S had been bribed by the Pan family S, but why did Su Tianhe get betrayed at such a crucial time? Pan Zhan said with a slight smile, For headmasters, don't be anxious. Su Tianhe's death was indeed an accident, and I also received the information at that time. Xiao Tianmu asked, Information? What kind of information? Pan Zhan laughed and said, I can't say this, but I can assure you that Long Fei will definitely die, and that he will die from personal qualifying fight. In tomorrow's competition, all of you will continue to target Long Fei, weakening his strength and strength. It would be even better if he could kill a few of the people around him. It doesn't matter if he can't do it. In any case, in terms of personal qualifying fight, he will definitely lose, and he will definitely die. The 4 Dean S did not understand. However, seeing Pan Zhan's 100 times reassured expression, their hearts started to become excited. Half an hour later, when the 4 Great Dean S left, an elder of the Pan family walked in. Great Elder, Feng Yuan Business Alliance is indeed secretly preparing for the auction, and they just received news that they have obtained Immortal Domain's #1 divine weapon, the Juga sword fragment. The ancestral dragon pellet that was refined in the God Emperor Academy will also appear at the auction. Do we need to prepare anything? Pan Zhan laughed coldly and said, Long Fei, do you want to fight back decisively? Humph, humph, someone who is about to die. I want to see how you will retaliate. Although Long Fei did not have solid evidence that the Supreme God was using him to search for the Dragon Domain, he was clear in his heart that since he was using himself to search for the Dragon Domain, then was his father once used by them in this way as well? Elderly in green frowned and said, There are a lot of things that I am not clear about either, but you are right, Long family and Palace Question of God have a blood feud. As for where your father is, we don't know either. This was the truth. He indeed did not know where Long Zhanding was. At this time, Qiu Wandao walked out with Fat Men Chen. When Chen Tianfei saw Long Fei, he was incomparably excited and said, "Boss." Long Fei was startled for a moment, then asked, "Presbyter Qiu, how is his recovery going?" Qiu Wandao laughed. "This little fatty is simply abnormal. The holy armor Fairy Vein's power is powerful indeed. Right now, even if it's an ordinary golden immortal rank powerhouse, they shouldn't think of harming him. This guy's defense is just too abnormal." Chen Tianfei laughed complacently and said, "Let's watch this lord fight in every direction." Qiu Wandao immediately went up and said, "What the hell do you have to say?" "Pa." Chen Tianfei's head instantly bulged out, causing him to grimace in pain, his hands covering his head. "Presbyter Qiu, can you stop your sneak attack?" Qiu Wandao shouted, "This is your weakness. You have to be on guard and not slack off in the slightest. When you can accomplish this, you will be able to unleash the strongest power of the holy armor, Fairy Vein. There's more. It's true that the with your current defense is unable to do anything, but the headmaster of the 4 matrial halls can easily knock you down. Arrogance is fine, but don't act arrogantly in front of them." Qiu Wandao reminded her. To be able to withstand the attacks of the golden immortal rank powerhouse, that was already abnormal enough. The current arrogant dragon squad was missing a tank. Chen Tianfei's recovery was undoubtedly providing timely assistance, as Long Fei needed him too much right now. Chen Tianfei said, "I got it, Presbyter Qiu. Can you not be so mischievous like an old lady? Men should be arrogant. Look at my boss." Not waiting for him to finish. "Pa Ji." Qiu Wandao smashed down again. Can you not launch a sneak attack?" Chen Tianfei's head swelled up again. He was in so much pain that he immediately ran away. He really couldn't be together with an old pervert. Qiu Wandao glared at him and said, "You've already forgotten what I just said. Let's see if you still dare to be cocky in the future." His strength couldn't defend him at all. In just a short day, Qiu Wandao's an elderly in Green's cultivation had increased by another level. This was because of Long Fei's destiny changer. It was as if a new world had opened up for them. Chapter 924, New Lineup. Chapter 924, New Lineup. Chen Tianfei was the guardian. He would use everything that he had to block any damage to Long Fei, no matter how much he had to pay with his life. The school competition, the second day. This time, the 2 gatekeeping disciples did not dare to stop Long Fei and the others. Instead, they looked down at Long Fei and did not dare to take another glance. They were afraid. Long Fei brought arrogant Dragon Squad into the training grounds. He's here. They're here. It's him. He's the one who destroyed Boundary and killed Elixir Martial Arts Branch's Principal Su Tianhe. He's too cool. I heard that today's alchemy and team competition will be carried out at the same time. Today's team competition is a place between 16 and 4. Just watch. They're not that comfortable today. The Boundary S in the arena have also changed. Rising to the peak, forget about virtual Immortals stage. Even golden immortal rank would be destroyed by this. When Long Fei walked into the training grounds, the tens of thousands of people in the plaza all looked at him. His name had already shaken the entire God Emperor city. Everyone was talking about him. Fat Men Chen followed behind Long Fei with a face full of smugness and said, "Boss, these people are looking at you." Long Fei said, "In the future, they will look at you the same way." Chen Tianfei grinned. "I just want a few girls to look at me." Xiao Ying pointed to the stand and said, "There's a 300 to 400 Jean girl staring at you." Her eyes lit up. "She must have taken a fancy to you. The 2 of you together might be able to form a team. It's called a 1,000-pound team." Puchi. The girls laughed. The Fat Men Chen did not mind and said, "If this fatty wants to play, Then play with the most beautiful woman in the God Emperor's city. Humph, humph. Not long after, Long Fei and the rest still walked to the place that was filled with trash. Fat Man Chen was startled. He did not know what happened yesterday. He looked at the trash heap beside him and said, "We are in this kind of place. Holy SH asterisk T. Isn't this a little too F asterisk asterisk king bullying?" Fat Man Chen was instantly enraged. Long Fei looked at him and said, "Are you very angry?" Fat Man Chen said, "It's more than just anger. I can overturn the hearts of his entire family." Long Fei said, "Then wait until the arena for a moment before using your power to overturn his entire family." The fatty could not be provoked. He would become extremely angry whenever he was provoked. And that was exactly what Long Fei needed. The 1,000 shall be the team leader's main attack. The fatty shall be the tank's main defense, and the Han senior sister will be in charge of controlling the entire situation, making up for it at any time. Xiaoying, you will be in charge of protecting Man Tuolyuo. Man Tuolyuo, you will be in charge of long-range attacks. Long Fei quickly said, "Don't think too much into it. Just do it." Also, today's team competition is not a knockout competition. It is a point competition. As long as you can enter the top 4 tomorrow, you will have to admit defeat if you really can't beat them. You definitely can't be like yesterday. Long Fei looked at them and said, "Even though the competition is important, you two are more important than the competition. Aoya, Linglong, leader's son, you will be in charge of the logistics." Long Fei said. Long Fei looked at Aoya. Aoya stared at the Fairy Hall elder again, clenching her fists tightly. Long Fei said in a low voice, "I know what you're thinking. I will give you the chance." It was also at this time. 8 Fairy Hall elder were seated. One of them said lightly, "Let's begin the competition. Don't waste time." At this time, Ouyang Zhan hurriedly said, "The competition begins." Team competition. Today is the competition of points. Of the 16 teams, the top 4 will enter the top 4 tomorrow. The first match. The screen of the Black Stone started rolling. Arrogant Dragon Squad against the Blood Skeleton Battle Team. Invite 2 teams in. The number 1 team in the White Tiger Courtyard, the number 3 seeded team in the tournament, was an existence with a powerful force. Long Fei's brows tightened. He did not expect to meet such a strong team from the very beginning. It was a bit unexpected. Fat Man Chen became excited. "Blood skeleton, right? I want them to become dead skeletons." After which, he strode out. Long Fei warned again, Chen, remember my words. If you can't do it, admit defeat. You must ensure your safety." Long Fei also wanted to participate, but alchemy competition would soon begin. If he participated, then the alchemy competition would be empty, and he would lose. Alchemy competition was different from team ranking. It was not a system of points. Seeing Long Fei standing in place without moving, Ouyang Zhan laughed coldly. "Today, this old man will play with you until you die." White Tiger Dean walked over and said, "The most painful thing in the world is watching our loved ones die one by one. Moreover, he can't do anything at all." Ouyang Zhan laughed out loud and said, "The happiest thing in the world is to just watch everything that's happening, to see Long Fei's helplessness. Ha ha ha." White Tiger Dean said, "Brother Ouyang, your move is very powerful." Ha ha ha. Elder Pan said that as long as you can kill a person from Arrogant Dragon Squad and get 10 immortal crystals, your White Tiger Dean would be lucky. Ouyang Zhan laughed. Then the 2 of them burst out laughing at the same time. Blood Skeleton Battle Team, previously ranked 5th. His strength was extraordinary. This year, their strength was even more powerful, and they had gathered the 5 strongest disciples from the White Tiger Kung Fu tribe. Chapter 9:26, Fatty's Great Technique. Chapter 9:26, Fatty's Great Technique, Too Abnormal. He had never seen such an abnormal person. Why didn't he die? The most important thing was that Fatty still had a face full of satisfaction when he was beaten up. He was enjoying the feeling of being beaten up, completely enjoying himself. A masochist can get hurt, but he wasn't even hurt a single hair on his head. What sort of power was this? Puff! Ning Xie was so angry that he spat out a mouthful of blood, his body sinking down to the ground. In the stands, Ouyang Zhan locked the center of his brows and asked Profound College of Martial Arts Training elder Xiao Tianwu, "Isn't this Chen Tianfei a disciple of your Black Tortoise College of Martial Arts Training? What is his background?" Xiao Tianwu also felt his scalp go numb and said, "Since he entered the College of Martial Arts Training, he has always been punished by me and has never cultivated for even a day. I only know of him that he is a member of the general's estate. As for why he became like this, I'm not sure either. However, Xiao Tianwu cultivates in the path of defense and defense. As long as one doesn't die, he will be in an invincible position." He had researched defense for a few decades, and he had seen the battle clearly. The defense on Chen Tianfei's body was extremely terrifying, and this was not his strongest defense. Xiao Tianwu said, faintly, "His defense is heaven-defying. I am afraid the members of the Blood Skeleton battle team are unable to break through his defense." The White Tiger Principal's face darkened. He stared at Xiao Tianwu and asked, "What did you say?" "You said that my Blood Skeletons team can't even deal with a fatty from the Virtual Immortals stage." He was very unhappy. He had single-handedly created the Blood Skeleton battle team. Xiao Tianwu said, "Let me be direct. They are not this fatty's match. They are unable to break his defense." "You." The White Tiger headmaster's face burned with anger, as if he had been humiliated to the extreme. He said, "The best defense in this world is one's attack. No defense is impossible to break through." Xiao Tianwu said, "Your blood skeleton won't be able to break through his defense." Cluck, cluck. The White Tiger Principal's expression became extremely ugly. Ouyang Zhan asked, "Principal Xiao, if you have something to say, just say it directly. It doesn't matter whether or not you win this competition, but it's enough as long as you can kill a few arrogant Dragon Squad's people." It didn't matter whether he won or not. His goal was to strike Long Fei. It was what made Long Fei uncomfortable, because the Pan family had already arranged everything, and all of the main scenes would be at the personal qualifying fight tomorrow. What they had to do today was to crush the members of arrogant Dragon Squad's team. It was precisely trying to make Long Fei angry, suppressing his anger. Look at Sister Qian's expression. She's holding her breath. The boundary air on the stage was not flowing. If anyone farted, the smell would always be floating around. Song Qian's expression changed. The expressions of Xiao Ying, Han Xueji, and Man Tuoyuo all changed. However, their faces were still okay. Ning Xie's face immediately turned green. Just as the fatty was about to fart, he took in a deep breath and inhaled most of the poison aura in his body. That refreshing feeling, it was simply incomparable. Ning Xie's entire person also went berserk. You won't die, fatty. I'll kill you." Mad Xiaoing also bellowed, "Fatty, before you fart, can't you say hello? Do you want to kill us all?" "Huh." Fatty Chen scratched his head and said apologetically, Sorry. I had a stomachache this morning and used the wrong move. I never expected it to be this bad." "Wait a moment, my big move is about to come." How could he make a mistake with a high-leveled skill? Was it really that funny? It was also at this time that Han Xueji yelled out, "Fatty, be careful." This time, Ning Xie was more furious than ever, and in his hand was a large blade. He was determined to cut open half of the fatties, but Fatty, be careful! Fatty! The four women all cried out in alarm. Fatty acted as if he hadn't heard them. With a cheerful and happy expression, he looked at the four of them and said, "Watch carefully. This time around, the danger zone is a powerful move." Chun Tianfei's forehead turned sinister. The power of the divine armor in his body surged. And then Chun Tianfei shouted loudly, "Explode for me!" Chapter 9:27, Thorned Armor. Chapter 9:27, Thorned Armor, Fatty shouted. Ning Xie roared, "Stupid pig, stop putting on airs. Go and die for me." Being toyed with by the fat men Chun, he had already lost all sense of reason. He only had one thought left: kill Chun Tianfei. He had to kill him. Just when everyone was worried for Chun Tianfei, he let out a loud shout, and Ning Xie's body suddenly sank. The force was sucked into his body at a maddening pace. It continued to crazily devour. Long Fei looked through the system and was shocked. His health point is going insane. Why is that so? Chun Tianfei didn't do anything. Could it be that the big move from before was poisoned to this state? Long Fei instantly rejected it. Chun Tianfei did not even know how to use poison. It was definitely not a fart that could cause Ning Xie, who was in the blood immortal realm, to become like this. What was that? Long Fei's mind frantically played back everything that happened in the stage. Suddenly, Long Fei's mind buzzed. His eyes became extremely excited. Wakaka, Armor of Thorns, inversion! Oh my God! This fatty is too eye-catching, isn't he? From the beginning, the fatty had always angered Ning Xie. He had been crazily enduring Ning Xie's attacks from the beginning, and in exactly 5 minutes, the fat men Chun had amassed an innumerable amount of backlash. Just as Ning Xie had gone berserk with a fart, he had been the most careless of them all, because the backlash at this time would reach its highest point. Holy Armor King Kong. A heaven-defying defense. I never thought it could be purified to such a degree. Armor of Thorns. How awesome. Long Fei was overwhelmed with shock. Indeed, after 2 months of secret training, the fat men Chun had made too many breakthroughs. The biggest breakthrough place was his Holy Armor Fairy Vein, and right now, his Holy Armor Fairy Vein had already broken through to the 7th level. It could turn a defense into a counterattack. His most powerful defense was also his most powerful attack. This was the most abnormal thing about him. However, if the 7th floor only had the Armor of Thorns, then what was the 8th floor? Resurrection armor? Long Fei was starting to look forward to it. When his brother became strong, he was happier than anyone else. Fatty was really getting stronger. He practiced the art of defense to the fullest. Ning Xie plummeted from the sky and landed on the ground. The countless backlash from his body exploded out, and the surrounding people didn't even understand what was going on. They did not know what the Armor of Thorns was. It was the same for the people from the martial arts arena. What's going on? What's going on? Could it be that the attack that Fatty just used is really a big one? Isn't that just a fart? This Fatty is too weird. He's not even human. Ouyang Zhan stared at Xiao Qianwu and shouted, "What exactly happened?" Mad Dragon, Mad Dragon, Mad Dragon, Mad Dragon, Mad Dragon, Mad Dragon. A large number of cheers came from the martial arts arena. The shock that Fatty gave them was just too great. He walked down the arena. Chun Tianfei's face was full of smugness. Looking at the cheers around him, he was extremely excited. "Sisters, scream for me!" Ha ha ha! This Fatty is invincible. Song Qianqian walked out of the stage and looked at Long Fei and thought to himself, "Is this the power of the people of Long family?" He actually found such a heaven-defying Fatty. Just as they walked out of the arena, suddenly a beam of killing intent diffused, and a golden light shot up to the sky as a powerful force assaulted the Fat Men Chin from all directions. Sneak attack. The White Tiger Kung Fu tribe's principal's sneak attack. Long Fei's face darkened. He took a step forward and instantly rushed out, yelling, "Fatty, be careful!" The speed of the golden immortal rank was too fast. Even if Long Fei reacted in time, his speed would not be able to keep up. Fat Men Chen's eyes darkened as he looked at the incoming White Tiger Dean. He then stomped his feet heavily on the ground, causing his fists to sink and his grip to become heavy. Buzz. A visible armor appeared all over his body. Fat Men Chen became excited and said, "Come." Chapter 9:28, Long Fei's Attack. Chapter 9:28, Long Fei's Attack. All this time, even when he was blasted to heaven and earth by Ning Xie, Fat Men Chen still did not use all of his strength. He didn't even summon out his divine armor. Facing the super strong power of the White Tiger Kung Fu tribe, the Fat Men Chen did not dare to be careless. Golden immortal rank, his limit. Moreover, before he left, Qiu Wandao had specially instructed him not to fight with the powerhouse of the 4Ds, or else he would undoubtedly lose, and he might even die. How could he retreat in this world? How could he be afraid? The divine armor on Chen Tianfei's body erupted with power as he roared towards the sky. "Come!" The power of the White Tiger Dean came crashing down like thunder. Rumble! Golden Immortal Stage Level 6 cultivation surged out. His palm struck down at Chen Tianfei's head. "Fatty! Brother Fatty, be careful!" "Fatty!" Xiaoying and the others cried out in alarm, but they could not keep up with him at all. Even Long Fei was the same, as at this moment. He could only rely on himself. "Die!" White Tiger Dean bellowed. The anger in his heart ignited. The blood skeleton battle team was destroyed just like that. His most prized disciple, Ning Xie, was destroyed just like that. He could not swallow his anger. It was also because of this that he went berserk and directly slammed his palm towards Chen Tianfei with all his might. The power of this palm strike was extremely ferocious. The sound of glass shattering continuously rang out in the air as pieces of glass collapsed one after another. Cracks of power appeared on the fatty's head. The divine armor couldn't withstand it. It was collapsing. While the cracks were being created, the fatty was holding on with all his might. The White Tiger Dean was incomparably shocked. He was very clear in his heart just how strong this palm strike was, that it was actually unable to penetrate Chen Tianfei's defense in an instant. Zhang Xian was infuriated. With a flick of his left hand, his palm landed on the back of his right palm. The two forces heavily struck down. "I want to see how much strength you can still withstand." White Tiger roar. Boom. With a move of his left hand, an extremely strong energy multiplied by twofold. A ferocious tiger roar came from White Tiger Dean's body, and a gigantic white tiger appeared in the air, smashing right above Chen Tianfei's head. His strength was extremely powerful, the strength of a white tiger. If White Tiger Dean actually released the white tiger's power, then this fatty is going to die. The power of the white tiger is a powerful force within the 4 matrial halls. Fatty is going to die. The 4 matrial halls, Azure Dragon, White Tiger, Vermilion Bird, and Black Tortoise weren't just names. The 4 matrial halls all had the power of 4 divine beasts, such as offense, defense, or even blood vein. The power of the White Tiger was a power unique to the White Tiger Kung Fu tribe. And the White Tiger Dean was a person who possessed traces of the White Tiger blood vein. The power of the White Tiger he released was even more ferocious than before. The scene was incomparably shocking. The gigantic White Tiger image crushed Chen Tianfei's head upside down. Both of its hands formed two claws that fiercely smashed onto Chen Tianfei's head. Chen Tianfei's body was trembling. The holy armor, fairy veins' defensive power, was exploding. Puffed. Chen Tianfei's face turned pale. He spat out a mouthful of blood. Staring at him angrily, he bellowed, is that all? Could you be stronger? Boom. The divine armor fiercely exploded under Chen Tianfei's fury. The force above his head exploded. A powerful defense formed a rebound force. White Tiger Dean's palms hurt. His body flipped violently in the air. Another bombardment. The power of the divine armor exploded forth, dissipating at the same time. It was being crushed. The defensive capabilities of the divine armor on Fatty disappeared as he stared at the sky. His heart skipped a beat as he said, I'm finished. This Fatty is going to see the old master Hades. Presbyter Cho can't say it. The powerhouse of the golden immortal rank is my limit. I can't surpass it. However, this Fatty has lived enough. Ha ha ha. He was originally just a fat pig in the eyes of others, a good-for-nothing, and a prodigal son. The reason he could shock tens of thousands of people to such an extent was all because of Long Fei. He thanked Long Fei in his heart. He felt proud to have such a boss, but he could not bear any more responsibility for Long Fei and could not accompany him any further. He was somewhat unwilling in his heart. Fat Menchen looked in the direction Long Fei had rushed in and was startled. Where's boss? The instant the divine armor on his body cracked, Long Fei had already arrived before him. When the second move from the White Tiger courtyard came crashing down, Long Fei shouted in his heart, Big day, Tashigata. Buddha palm technique. With a move of his body, his right palm shot out towards the sky, towards the White Tiger Dean that was rushing down from the sky. The power of the golden, holy Buddha, Buddhist light, filled the sky. And incomparably, huge palm print shot up into the sky. The entire arena was in an uproar as countless people stood up. What kind of palm technique is this? Buddhist light. Could he be a Buddhist cultivator? Golden giant palm? How is this called a palm art? I don't understand. In this world, there had never been a palm technique like this before, and they simply could not understand it. Not only them, even Pan Zhan could not understand it. He thought that he understood Long Fei very well, but seeing Long Fei release the Buddha palm technique, he also had a face full of bewilderment. However, this was not just limited to Buddha palm technique. During this month, Long Fei had never stopped cultivating the Buddha palm technique, and the current Buddha palm technique was no longer the Buddha palm technique of the beginning. Moreover, he was just a little bit away from breaking through and entering the second form of the big day Tashigata. The strength of the White Tiger came crashing down. The two powers clashed in an instant, and a series of explosive sounds exploded in the air as a golden halo shot out. The sounds of explosions continuously sounded out in the sky. Boom, boom, boom. White Tiger Dean's arms went numb, his palms started to crack, his mind was trembling, and fear started to rise. What kind of power is this? Long Fei was the same. His arms were dislocated, his joints were about to split, and his mind was filled with the sound of great strength. However, he did not tremble. He shouted with incomparable savagery, Move against my brother, come on! A mere white tiger, do it again if you dare. Incomparable power. A domineering aura burst out from his body, like a king looking down on the world. The entire audience was squashed by Long Fei. All of their faces were extremely shocked, looking at Long Fei. Their minds went blank. This guy was not a human. Both of his hands held behind his back, as he trembled, as he stared at Long Fei's incomparably arrogant expression. The fear in his heart grew even stronger. He had never seen the power of the Holy Buddha before. It was extremely dense, so thick that it could not be penetrated at all. At this moment, he did not dare to take another step forward. He was scared, had been completely crushed by Long Fei. His heart was filled with incomparable fear. Ouyang face sank and shouted loudly, "Enough!" His voice was like thunder, suppressing the martial arts arena's voice as he said, "If anyone dares to make a ruckus again, don't blame me for being impolite. Long Fei, you actually dared to attack the White Tiger Dean, just now. Now, deduct the points from the arrogant dragon squad." Ouyang shouted. Long Fei glared and said, "Ouyang, what qualifications do you have to deduct arrogant dragon squad's points? Are you the judge? Are you evaluating me? Are you the dean's dean? What qualifications do you have?" Long Fei refused to accept this. Ouyang said, "I said deduct it, then deduct it. Unfair." One of them stood up and shouted loudly. It was clearly White Tiger Dean, who made the first move. "Why did you attack arrogant dragon squad?" "Unfair. Unfair. They are always targeting the arrogant dragon squad. Is there any fairness in the God Emperor Academy?" All of a sudden, infuriate the public. Yesterday, Long Fei smashed Boundary into pieces and was extremely shocked. Now, he was blocking White Tiger Dean's attack with his palm, which made them even more excited. What is a powerhouse? This was the powerhouse. Most importantly, Long Fei risked his life for her brother, even if it was the same when facing the White Tiger Dean. The arrogance and tyranny he possessed caused many hot-blooded young warriors in martial arts arena to be impressed by his character of brother being able to disregard life and death. They admired him from the bottom of their hearts. He was also feeling envious of Fatty and the others. Such a boss was simply too lucky. Unfair. Her voice was getting louder and louder, and even the disciples of the 18 matrial halls were shouting at the same time. Young and arrogant. Hot blood indignation. Every young person is like this, to face unfair things to fight. Ouyang also realized that he had angered the masses. He could not help but look at the 8 Fairy Hall Elders with a pleading look. If the Fairy Hall Elder agreed to his actions, he would do everything he could. One of the Fairy Hall Elder bellowed, "Keep your points." Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. As expected of an elder of the palace question of God, anyone with a discerning eye would know that it was White Tiger Dean who ambushed us first. Mad Dragon! Mad Dragon! The people of martial arts arena shouted again, in an orderly manner, their voices shaking the sky. Boss, so mighty and domineering. Too cool. Long Fei took a glance at the Fairy Hall Elder and thought in his heart, was this also arranged by the Supreme God? The Fairy Hall Elders were directly under the Supreme God's control. He thought that it was the Supreme God who had helped him yesterday and earlier because the Supreme God didn't want to see him make a move, and thus the Supreme God wanted to make better use of him. Long Fei would never think of that. All of this was part of Pan Sheng's plans. To kill a person, the best and most satisfying method was to make them stand at a height that they could never reach before bombarding them, turn everything he has into dust. Only by standing high up could the fall be painful. This was what Pan Sheng wanted to do. Long Fei did not know about all these. Ouyang was extremely unhappy, and he said in his heart fiercely, "Is this Fairy Hall Elder standing over there in the end?" Looking at the incomparably pleased Long Fei, Ouyang harumphed coldly in his heart, "Let's see how long you can continue being pleased with yourself." Chun Tianfei recovered slightly, walked to Long Fei's side, and asked, "Boss, are you all right?" Long Fei forcefully suppressed the boiling blood in his chest and shook his head. "It's nothing. It's nothing. All of you, come here." Chun Tianfei frowned. Song Qianqian and the others also quickly walked up and surrounded Long Fei. Uff! Long Fei spat out a mouthful of blood, his face becoming extremely pale. He wiped the blood off the corner of his mouth and said, "I suffered some injuries. Don't let anyone find out." "Boss." Chun Tianfei's face tensed up, and he started to secretly blame himself in his heart. Long Fei said, "Don't worry, they won't find out that I'm injured, but I'm afraid I won't even be able to go on a match with the team competition today." "Fatty, this is a level 5 variant crystal nucleu, a total of 3. Take it first and use it on the stage. Also, all of you are the same." Long Fei arranged for them. "Also, there are Destiny Changer S. You will have to use them in every match for the next one." At this moment, Long Fei's arm powerlessly smashed down from the hammer. The 2 eyes in front of him dislocated. "Alchemy competition. Go, Long Fei!" Long Fei's face suddenly tensed up. "Crap." Chapter 931. You are a weak chicken. Chapter 931. You are a weak chicken. Ouyang, I'm just asking you a question. Do you dare to gamble with your life? Long Fei stared at Ouyang smug expression, his eyes wide open, his heart filled with anger. Amongst the principal of 18 matrial halls, Ouyang was the most cocky. He would bite Long Fei when he had the chance. "Like it?" Long Fei asked for the 3rd time. "Do you dare to gamble your life?" At this moment, Ouyang expression became cold, and thinking back to the scene of Su Tianhe and his powder-making competition being slashed by a blade yesterday, his body subconsciously took half a step back. He didn't dare to gamble. At least, he did not dare bet his life with Long Fei on the powder-making competition. However, Ouyang laughed coldly and said, "Why would I want to gamble with my life? There are only 2 minutes left. Do I still need to gamble with my life?" "You're about to lose. Ha ha." Another minute passed, and only 2 minutes remained of the final 3 minutes. Long Fei disdainfully said, "My hands were crippled. There are only 2 minutes left. You don't even dare to gamble in this kind of sure defeat situation. Ouyang, you are truly a coward. A person as timid as a mouse like you really doesn't know how to become a green dragon hegumen. You even want to become a dean? What a joke." Long Fei was not anxious. He was still waiting. It was as if his hand was accumulating energy. His hand was in a very painful state, and he still needed some time to recover. Ouyang face was extremely ugly as he shouted, "Brat, you think I'm Su Tianhe? Don't let your words get the better of you." Long Fei laughed. "You are not even comparable to Su Tianhe. At least he still dares to bet with me. What about you? You are just a coward. I guess you are just the material for schemes and tricks behind your back. And yet you want to become the dean even after acting like this. Why don't you take a piss and take care of yourself?" "How dare you?" Ouyang roared in anger, stared at Long Fei, and said, "A mere trash from the Nantian region. You think that you can be so arrogant just because you're from the Long family? Long family is no longer the Long family of the past. Long family is now also a lowly trash family. Don't think that you can act presumptuously just because you've won 2 rounds. This is God Emperor Academy, not your home. Long Fei, don't think that I wouldn't dare to touch you. There is a limit to my patience." The rage raged. Long Fei continued to laugh. "Come and touch me. You have the guts to come and King touch me now. Quick, quick. I'm standing right here. Come and touch me. Arrogant beyond compare." "Humph." Ouyang heavily snorted and said, "You want me to make a move on you, but you still found an excuse to cancel the alchemy competition, right? Kid, stop dreaming. You still have a minute. Your alchemy competition is going to end in a minute. I want to see how you still get 3 more super divine marks. Ha ha." There was only 1 minute left. It was impossible to concoct a pill in a minute. There was not enough time. Everyone looked at Long Fei. They all thought that Long Fei had given up. Even Song Qianqian, and the others thought that Long Fei had given up. It was impossible to succeed in this time. Chen Tianfei said solemnly, "Boss, don't do anything stupid." Only the fat man Chen was still worried because he knew Long Fei's character very well. You like to laugh, right? You like to see lousy laugh, right? Then open your eyes wide and see. Long Fei glared at the center of his brows, and a stream of power burst out from his body. And then he flipped his left hand. Boom! Power of celestial surged, pill fire burned, and the green dragon tripod on his left hand began to frantically spin. Hiss! Long Fei sucked in a breath of cold air as his body trembled. His arm was in incomparable pain and was unable to bear the weight of the green dragon medicine tripod. 1 minute! Just for a minute! Long Fei clenched his teeth. He raised his right hand and roared at the sky. Ah! The spirit grass quickly threw itself into the powder tripod and released the spirit liquid. Long Fei's idea rushed in and removed the rest of the magazines. Cold sweat covered his back. However, Long Fei's arm only trembled at the very beginning, not moving an inch behind him, no different from a normal person's arm. He's not hurt his hand. Then why didn't he use his alchemy just now? It was faked, just to mock Ouyang Zhan. Holy shit, 1 minute of alchemy? Isn't this kid a little too crazy? How is that possible? The surroundings were filled with discussions. Ouyang Zhan's expression turned cold and thought in his heart, "Brat, you want to scheme against me?" Humph, luckily I didn't agree. However, there's only 20 seconds left. You can't concoct a complete pill at all. You're doomed. Ouyang Zhan could not tell whether Long Fei's arm was actually injured or just a fake one. However, he only knew that Long Fei was going to lose for sure. The time was almost up. Ah! Long Fei roared once again. The power of celestial flame was extremely fierce. The flames inside the powder tripod began to condense faster and faster. 5, 4. A fairy hall elder began counting down. You still have 3 seconds. 2, 1. Time's up. Stop the fire. As he shouted, a powerful crushing force surged out, causing Long Fei's body to sink down fiercely. The fire in his hand was instantly extinguished. Clang! With a loud noise, the green dragon medicine tripod fell from Long Fei's palm. His arms couldn't take it anymore. His face turned pale as he panted heavily. Phew, phew, phew! This was the first time he had used such an extreme level of alchemy. Chapter 932, Slashing Ouyang Jian. Chapter 932, Slashing Ouyang Jian Arrogant. Arrogant. He wanted to step on Ouyang Zhan and not let him go. You are arrogant? Then Lousy will be even more arrogant than you. Are you cocky? Then I'll slap your face and see how smug you are. Long Fei was not afraid of everything. If he failed in this academy competition, then he would never be able to recover. At the very least, there would be no place for him in God Emperor Academy. The 18 matrial halls, 18 bosses, any one of them were incomparably strong existences. If he failed, it might mean his death. He could only move forward and not retreat. If that was the case, why didn't he continue to act so arrogantly? So what if he was a high and mighty green dragon hegemon? Step. Therefore, Long Fei rampaged through without regard for the principle of the 18 matrial halls. He stared at Ouyang Zhan, who was in the arena, and said each word clearly, "You are just a weak chicken." Ouyang Zhan clenched his fists tightly. The killing intent around his body was extremely strong. It was the first time in his life that he had been humiliated by a student. At this moment, Ouyang Jian, who was beside him, could not help but stand up and shouted, "Long Fei, you want to bet your life, right?" The revelation sword. In the blink of an eye, He landed on the stage of powder-making competition as he stared at Long Fei. "I will definitely kill you in front of everyone's lives." Aoya, Ouyang Jian, stared at the distant Aoya and coldly snorted. "Open your eyes wide and look clearly. See how I killed him." Compared to the Ouyang Jian from a month ago, his cultivation had already broken through quite a bit. This time, he definitely wouldn't lose. Oya's face changed. The expressions of Chen Tianfei and the others changed. They all rushed to stage of powder-making competition and waited to take action. The result of this alchemy competition was very obvious. Long Fei had even dropped powder tripod-s. How could he win? Fu Shishan's heart also secretly tensed up. Dao Ba shouted, "As long as boss loses, we will immediately create chaos." Understood. They too became nervous. Long Fei looked at the who had a face full of killing intent and coldly laughed. "Ouyang Jian, if you really want to gamble your life, I can give you one more chance to choose. After all, I only want to slap your father's face, and you don't have the qualifications to make me slap your face like this." "How dare you?" Ouyang Jian's eyes spewed fire as he shouted. "Long Fei, didn't you want to bet your life on this? Are you afraid now? Are you sure you want to bet?" Long Fei asked again with great interest. "I will really kill you." Ouyang Jian laughed coldly and said, "Long Fei, you cannot win. The pill furnace has fallen to the ground. I want to see how you will win this round with the powder-making competition." Not just him. Ouyang Jian immediately realized that he had said something that he shouldn't have said, and said, No, I don't dare. Master, I only said that it is impossible for him to refine pills. The pill's ratio to the spirit grass he used just now isn't wrong. It's impossible for him to exchange it for pills. I don't know how he did it, but in this competition of powder-making competition, he won. The immortal pill elder found it hard to believe. However, the truth was the truth, even if he didn't believe it. Suddenly, right at the moment when Ouyang Jian was about to be crushed by the Fairy Hall elder, Long Fei roared in his heart, "Seventh level unparalleled! Open!" Boom, boom, boom. The energy in his body exploded forth continuously. His right hand moved. Dragon Salyer. 1. Asterisk when the 103,000 gene dragon Salyer landed in his hands, his right hand sank, and his arm was in extreme pain. Long Fei immediately endured it, both hands holding onto the blade as he slashed at Ouyang Jian's head ruthlessly. "Give me your life!" Ouyang Jian screamed at the top of his lungs. "Long Fei, stop right there!" The majesty of the heavens came crashing down. Boom! The 7th level of the Golden Immortal stage was extremely powerful. However, Ouyang Jian did not think that Long Fei would suddenly attack, nor did he think that would dare to attack. "Stop! Ha ha ha! I'm willing to admit defeat." Long Fei did not stop his hands in the slightest as he slashed down at Ouyang Jian, his strength slashing across the sky. The black dragon was enraged. Dragon-slaying slash. No matter if it was reaction, strength, defense, or speed, Ouyang Jian was all being crushed. Right now, he was just like an ordinary person. Seeing the dragon Salyer fall from the sky, his face suddenly turned pale, and he screamed, crack. Possessing a special kind of power, it was able to unlock the seal's chains. Lei Emo said, excitedly, "Master, when will you release the seal on me? I'm almost suffocating." Long Fei said, "No need to be anxious. There are 2 holy token question of God here. Take them." Long Fei became excited. There was a giant demon at every level of the 18th floor of hell. There were only 2 trolls now. There were still 16 devils who had yet to return to their positions. However, Long Fei was not worried, because they would all appear sooner or later, and let him finish repairing this 18 levels of hell. At that time, he would definitely be able to transform in hell. The 18 hells of hell itself was a super spiritual treasure. If he were to completely repair it, what kind of existence would it be? It was hard to imagine. The gravity troll absorbed the 2 holy token question of God and said lightly, "Master, give me a few hours." Long Fei said, "No rush." At this moment, Ouyang Zhan stood up from the ground, stared coldly at Long Fei with his 2 eyes, then turned and left. Long Fei's heart trembled again. What exactly did they just said that allowed Ouyang Zhan to crush the pain of his son's death? Could it be Long Fei had a feeling that tomorrow's competition would be extremely dangerous? Yesterday and today were probably just the prelude to the storm. The real storm will come tomorrow. This ominous feeling became more and more intense. Long Fei became nervous on the inside. I want to find a place to level up. You're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.